Where it is a spectacular day for college football. The undefeated Little Giants against the 2-4 Kenyon College Lords. We'll be back with all the play-by-play action and the kickoff, but first, let's hear from the coach, Coach Eric Rayburn, interviewed by Brent Harris earlier this week.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Eric Rayburn Show, your chance to hear the thoughts and comments of the head football coach of the Little Giant program. And Coach, this week we start off by talking about a good road victory, a 55-18 win at Oberlin, and we're going to jump to special teams right away because that was something you were really concerned about. I know I had a chance to talk to David Denham. They don't have a kicker at Oberlin. It came into play on a few different areas. Number one, you get a 30-yard punt return for a touchdown from Drake Christen that we're going to see in just a few minutes with the highlight film. But you also had great starting field position because your kickoff team, you were in a different alignment for every kickoff that Oberlin gave you. And the kickoff receiving team really did a phenomenal job on Saturday.
They did. We were concerned about it because they don't have a traditional kicker. You know, they onside kick a lot. They hit a lot of high, short, kind of pop-up type kicks, and then they squib them on the ground. And so everybody else is, you know, that we've seen on film, they've struggled fielding the ball, and it's put them in bad field position. And so we kind of changed our kickoff return this week, and those guys did a great job. I think the worst we started at was the ball on our 37 or 38, but most of the time we were across our 45, and I think twice we had it across the 50. So I thought those guys did an excellent job. And obviously the punt return, you know, we really needed that. We feel like, you know, that was a weakness for us through these first 4 games. You know, we just weren't fielding the punts very well. We weren't doing very good holding up and getting any blocks to get our return started. So to see us get some great blocks and then field it clean and make a nice return down the sideline, make a couple guys miss to get in the end zone, that was huge too.
Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the highlights from last weekend's game, because you took the opening kickoff, marched it down, and you got a little bit of a fortunate touchdown. You had Sammy Adams open in the front of the end zone. The ball kind of flipped out of his hands and right into Thomas Garrity's hands, who was running a crossing route on the backside. And then you really just kind of took the game over from there after Oberlin drove down and got what could have been a game-tying touchdown. And I know you're going to talk about this as well. Had to go for the 2-point conversion and never got one on any of their scores on Saturday. After they cut it to a 1-point game, you march down again, get another touchdown on a good run from Chris Morris. How important was it to answer back after Oberlin got that first score?
Yeah, I thought it was important. I thought, first of all, you know, I was proud of our defense. We give up the score on a trick play, but they got immediately refocused and did a great job on the 2-point play, keeping them out. And then offensively, you know, we got a great field position after the kickoff, and then went down, marched down, and punched another one in the end zone to extend our lead. So, you know, I thought our defense responded well to the score, and I thought special teams and offensively, you know, we did what we were supposed to do and try and create some good field position and go down and answer.
Mason Zurich goes over 100 yards for the 4th time in 5 games this season. He finishes with 164, 2,000 rushing yards now in his career, but he got a big run in the 3rd quarter, a big 74-yard scamper downfield for a touchdown, 2 touchdowns on the game. I mean, he has some elusive speed. I mean, we saw in the highlight just a few moments ago, he made a nice cut outside, and once he got to that sideline, he outran everybody. How much of an advantage does he have when he gets in the open field? Because as big as he is, he does have good speed.
Yeah, we feel like he's an outstanding running back, really complete running back. You know, obviously he's a big, strong, physical guy, and so I think so he's really good between the tackles. And I think that sometimes people assume that he doesn't have great speed because he is a big physical runner. But when he gets loose, you know, he has the speed to break them and take them the distance, which he's shown, you know, several times throughout his career. And then, you know, he's got great hands. I think he had a big day running the football, but he had a critical catch on a 3rd down that he took. I think he went 35 or 40 yards on that. We feel like he's an excellent blocker, you know, in pass protection or in some of the run game stuff where he's not carrying the football. So we really feel like having a great season. He's had a great career here, and we feel like he's a complete running back.
Shamir Johnson added another rushing touchdown late in the ball game for you. You got another passing touchdown to Drake Kristen, so he had 2 scores on the day. And then one of your big momentum-changing touchdowns came on the defensive side of the football. Connor Carnes got loose in the backfield, came up with one of his 2 sacks in the game, forced a fumble, and had the presence of mind to get up, grab the football at the 11-yard line. He took it in uncontested into the end zone for his first collegiate touchdown. Connor's now ranked in the top 20 in sacks and tackles for loss in the nation this season. What kind of a year has he had as one of those guys that needed to step up for 3 veteran players who graduated last year?
Yeah, he obviously he had a great season for us last year, and even as a sophomore, was incredible on special teams, and so we're not surprised, I guess, at how well he's playing, but he's having a great year. Just really difficult to block, explosive, coming off the edge. He is playing a different position. Last year he played kind of opposite of Cody Burrish, and this year he's kind of playing Cody's position. But he has had a position change to deal with. But man, he's done fantastic, and to get a sack, force a fumble, and then recover that fumble and run in for a touchdown. I mean, that's almost impossible to do. But he's played great in all of our games, and you're really happy with his production so far this season.
It's a rush-in dream come true to take one back after you get the sack fumble. Another guy that had a great day for you on special teams was Andrew Tutsi. He continues to perform well this year. 2 for 3 in field goals. He was perfect on extra points. And the only field goal he missed was a good 46-yard attempt. Had plenty of leg, and with a breeze blowing from right to left, it pushed it just a little bit left of the upright. He just continues to be consistent for you. And it had to be important for him to connect on those extra points, knowing that Oberlin was going to go for 2 if they scored throughout the game, because if he misses one, that could be a key in a point turnaround. 2 points for Oberlin versus none for Wabash on a missed extra point.
Yeah, Andrew's played great so far this season. He's really come through for us. I think like you said, the kick he missed, he just barely missed it, and he hit the ball well, and the wind just pushed it a little further left than what he was factoring in on. And I think that was his first miss of the season so far. So he's done a great job. His kickoffs have been excellent as well. So we've been. It's an advantage to have a good kicker, because it's just demoralizing to your team when you drive down the field, and they slow you down in the red zone, and then you miss the field goal and you come away with no points. It can be a real momentum swing. But he's gone out there, and when we haven't been able to punch him in the end zone, he's gone out there and got us 3 points and kept the momentum on our side. So he's done a fantastic job too.
We make the transition to this week's game. Last week you were facing an Oberlin team that had a lot of confidence coming off of a win. This week you've got a very talented Kenyon College football team that comes here on fall break. So the stadium will have a little different atmosphere with it, with a lot of the students gone. But this is a team that has a lot of talent, particularly in the running game. Blake Kelsey has missed last week's game, but they've got a freshman that really stepped up and ran the ball well. Got a quarterback who's dangerous both in the running game and the passing game. What do you expect to see from this Kenyon College football team?
Yeah, they are. They're one of the few teams in our conference that is really run-oriented, and they're really physical. They're getting a lot of unbalanced formations, real heavy formations, and it's a challenge physically for you defensively, but also mentally to get lined up right, because they do get in a lot of different personnel groupings and have extra linemen in the game and that type of thing. So you really got to be on your toes defensively and make sure we get lined up right. And then they try to run it right at you. They obviously, you mentioned they've had great success with their running backs. Their quarterback's a senior. He's also a very good runner. They'll use him in the run game as well. They have a guy they bring in at kind of as a wildcat quarterback, and that package has been real successful for him. And then throwing the football, they have a really explosive receiver in Brian Hunka, and he's had a lot of big plays for them. They don't throw it as much as some teams, but because they run it so well, and they get some good play action looks on you, and he is an explosive guy. He got us for a big pass play last year for a touchdown. So he's a talented guy out there, really explosive, and with a veteran quarterback and a great run game, that makes the passing game dangerous as well.
It's a football team that also doesn't turn the football over a lot. Only 1 interception by their quarterback this year. I think only 5 fumbles on the season, so they take care of the ball and try and extend those drives. What will you see from them on defense against your offense?
Yeah, defensively, they're maybe the most impressive team from a standpoint of they have something different planned for everybody. So if you watch them on film, every week they have some little a change in their coverage, or a change in their front, or the way they're going to blitz you, and it's basically geared to what they think you're best at. And they're really creative, and somehow you expect teams to make a lot of mental errors when they try to play a lot of different fronts and coverages and that type of thing. But they seem to execute it really well, and not have any mental breakdowns, and they just make it tough on you. They try to take away what you do the best, and force you to kind of beat them doing something you're not as comfortable doing, and I think that's key on defense. If you can do that to your opponent. So and they've done a great job these last couple years of always having something different. So we talked to our players. These first couple series of the game, they're going to come out in something that we haven't seen or we weren't expecting, and we're going to have to make some adjustments on the fly, and hopefully our guys are mature enough and mentally can handle that, because if we don't, we're going to have a long day.
Is this a football team that their record really doesn't indicate how well they've been playing? They were very close. They had a double overtime loss last week against Ohio Wesleyan, and they had a chance to win that ball game. They were right in the game with Oberlin, lost that one by 4 points, 28-24. I mean, a couple of turns of the football here and there, and this is a team with a winning record coming into Hallett Little Giant Stadium Saturday. Yeah,
I think certainly I'm sure they feel like they could have won both of those games, and I'm sure they're disappointed that they didn't. But you're right. There's 2 or 3 plays in each of those games, and those 2 losses turn into 2 wins, and that changes your outlook rolling into our game drastically. So our guys have watched the film and realize that they're really close to having 4 victories through these first 5 games, and hopefully we'll be ready to go and play really well.
We mentioned it's fall break. It's also Community Day on Saturday. Free admission to the ball game, and a chance for both Wabash College and this Little Giant football team to thank the Montgomery County community and the alumni base, everyone that comes out every Saturday to support Wabash College football. I mean, we've talked about the type of boost you get from the fans, but your guys are out in the community on a regular basis. They go into the schools. I mean, how important is it to have that kind of interaction with a community that really embraces your football team and Wabash College students in general?
Yeah, I think it's good for our guys to get out there and do some things at the elementary schools and in the community to help out. And I think that's earned us a lot of goodwill with the people in the community, and I think more of them come out and support our football team because of the things our guys have done in the community and in the elementary schools.
Well, the game will kick off at 1 o'clock, Wabash versus Kenyon, right here at Hallett Little Giant Stadium. We'd love to see you there. If you can't make the game Saturday, we'll of course have it on wabash.edu/live. The Wabash TV crew, they're not taking fall break, at least some of the guys aren't. Jim Amadon and Steve Hoffman will have the play-by-play for you beginning at 1 o'clock. We hope you'll join us. Coach, best of luck this week, and I know we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, Brent.
You've been watching the Eric Rayburn Show, your chance to hear the thoughts and comments of the head football coach of the Little Giant program. We will talk to you next week.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Byron P. Hallett Little Giant Stadium on the campus of Wabash College, where today the 10th-ranked Little Giants play host to the Kenyon College Lords. I'm Jim Amadon alongside my broadcast partner, the former quarterback and coach, Steve Hoffman. We're glad to be with you from high atop a very cool Little Giant Stadium. Steve, the wind is blowing in from the north today, and we're not at Wrigley Field. It means kicking game's going to be critical today with some wind, and it's certainly going to be a smash-mouth kind of game with two good running games.
Yeah, the wind is going from one end to the other, so it could be a factor kicking into the wind, maybe some coaching decisions in that as well. It's fall break here on campus, so a little different feel today than it typically is for a Wabash atmosphere, a little less tailgating, less people in the stands as you'll see. But it's a beautiful fall day if you're looking across campus and the leaves starting to turn, and it's a great day to be at the Hollet.
It is cool, but it is beautiful, and the Little Giants are ready to put together a 60-minute football game. Last week played well in parts of the game, but the passing offense struggled a little bit last week, but I'll tell you, Mason Zurich had a big-time game last week, 164 yards on the ground, caught a 40-some-yard screen pass as well, went to 2,000 yards in his career. Mason Zurich did, and stands in 12th spot all-time at Wabash with a good chunk of this season to go. But this is really going to be about a pretty good Kenyon team that comes in with a deceptive 2-4 record, Steve. They lost in a double overtime heartbreaker last week at Ohio Wesleyan. Had a chance to win that game. Went with a Wildcat, tried to stick the ball over the goal line, got it knocked away for a fumble, and Ohio Wesleyan escaped with the win. Kenyon's pretty close to being 4-2, not 2-4.
Yeah, what a difference those few plays make. And then the other losses to a Oberlin team by just 4 points, 28-24. But yeah, going in on Ohio Wesleyan, as you said, Jim, from the 1-yard line in double overtime and fumbled the ball. Ohio Wesleyan went down and kicked a field goal to win that one. So very close to being a 4-2 team. We'll talk about what Coach Rayburn thinks about Kenyon's coaches here pretty soon.
So the Little Giants stand at the top of the NCAC standings entering play today, along with Denison and DePauw. DePauw playing very good football. Those are the league records as you see them now. Wabash still has dates with DePauw and Denison and Ohio Wesleyan. Wittenberg lost a tough game at Greencastle last week, and Wittenberg, for all intents and purposes, out of the conference race at this point with 2 losses. It'd just be hard for them to well, they'd have to win out. Little Giants and DePauw going to win all the tiebreakers against Wittenberg because they've won head-to-head. So looks like it could be a 2-team race at this point.
And the game on that list of the game in the conference today is Denison and Wittenberg. Everyone wants to know how good Denison football team is, cruising in at 4-0 in the conference, and Wittenberg losing to Wabash and losing to DePauw.
Well, today's game, the Little Giants will want to continue to run the football, I would suggest, Steve, and it's a difficult Kenyon team to try to match up against because the defense always does something different.
Well, yeah, the keys of the game, first of all, I think we have to overcome the fall break lull that can come with this. We got schedule changes with no classes Thursday and Friday. It's a different atmosphere around here. Number 2, we have to adjust to Kenyon's defensive scheme, and Coach Rayburn is very complimentary of the Kenyon defensive coaches and what they do. He thinks they will decide to take away something from our offense today, probably the rushing game, and they were pretty successful at doing that against us last year. Might need to see the ball in the air a lot when Wabash has the football, and then we need to contain Hunk on big plays. He is a very talented receiver. We don't want him to get behind us. We need to keep him in front, keep his receptions in short yardage situations.
Brian Hunka's a 5'10", 180-pound junior from Larkspur, California, up in wine country. 34 catches, almost 600 yards, 5 touchdowns. Had a big day against DePauw earlier in the year, 139 yards and a couple touchdowns. He's broken a 79-yard reception, had a big play against the Little Giants, as Steve just said. The quarterback that makes it all go is a senior from nearby Noblesville, Indiana, Jake Bates. 6-foot, 210-pounder, pretty accurate thrower. Has thrown 9 touchdowns and just 1 interception on the season. Averages 172 yards passing. Is also a dangerous runner as well. Has run for a 69-yard touchdown against Oberlin a few weeks ago. Threw for 276 yards against Allegheny. The running game for the Lords has suffered a little bit of a setback. The senior Blake Kelsey, 5'10", 205-pounder from Aurora, California, is not in pads today. Suffered an injury a couple of weeks ago. We're not quite clear what the injury is, but that's a big loss. Averages over 4 yards a carry and 4 touchdowns, has breakaway speed, but he is not in the lineup today. So the Lords will counter with a freshman from Tiburon, California, Rob Mayer, a 5'8", 195-pounder, who had a pretty big week last week against Ohio Wesleyan, a workhorse, 37 carries, 143 yards against the Bishops a week ago. So Bates is the man under center, and he is a senior, very talented player, and the Little Giants will need to contain him and, again, try to match up well. I think Bates will be on the run a good bit, but most of their big plays, according to Coach Rayburn, come from the play action. So the Little Giants 5-0 against 2-4 Kenyon on Community Day here over fall break at the college.
Evan Rudder and number 45, Tyler McCullen.
A.J. Clark is one of the captains today. Eddie Schmale, Evan Rudder, Tyler McCullen for the Little Giants.
The wind today, as we mentioned, going from left to right on your screen, so I could see that being a factor in some punts. It's blowing pretty good today.
PA announcer talking about the young man who's accompanying the Little Giants, who's a Riley Hospital hero, has raised a lot of money and himself quite a little champion out there, and he's getting a little opportunity to help the official flip the coin today. That's a very neat thing to do on Community Day. These Little Giant players are active in the community. They do a lot of service work. They go into schools to read. They mentor and tutor kids after school. This Little Giant team's really committed to the community, and this is a thank you day.
And as are really most of the Wabash College athletic teams really involved in the community. It makes a big difference.
Little Giants won the toss, and they have elected to defer, so Kenyon will get the ball to start the game. Look at their offensive line. Pretty good-sized front, starting with left tackle Casey Cook, a 6'4", 285-pound junior. Mike Cullen is the left guard, another junior, 6 foot, 275 pounds. The center's Parka Subia, 5'11", 260-pounder from Whittier, California. The right guard, Josh Walmer, sophomore, 6'4", 255 from Allentown, Pennsylvania. Right tackle is Alex Olis, 6'4", 245-pound senior. The tight end is Greg McIntosh, another senior, very experienced offense for the Lord, 6'3", 225 from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Well, it looks like Wabash won a toss, elected to defer, and will be kicking to the scoreboard. Kenyon, a late start coming out here.
Yeah, there could be, and will be interesting. If they don't hustle up, they will get a flag. Scoreboard clock has 20 seconds on it. There you see the officials. Fenton Moore is our referee. The umpire, Scott Bauer. Gabe Tomlin.
And the rest.
And the rest.
Like Gilligan's Island. About 2 of our listeners knew what that meant.
Andrew Tutsi will kick off for the Little Giants, having a terrific year as the junior from Indianapolis. 5 of 6 on field goals, 29 of 30 on PATs. And there's the rest. Rick Barnes is the back judge. So thanks to our media center crew. Like we said, it's fall break on the college campus, and so a little bit of a skeleton crew, but we're grateful to the students who have stuck around to help us out today and bring you the broadcast, as well as the all-star crew in the trailer, Adam Phipps, Phil Merritt, and Scott Yeager. Thanks to everyone who's made this happen today.
And
fall break games are just kind of, yeah, as you said, there's a little bit of a lull kind of campus
They are
feeling.
different, and you just want a team to be able to respond. You just don't know how it's going to affect the team, and I think Coach Rayburn does a pretty good job of getting us ready. But they're kids, and you just don't know. And thanks to you, Jim, for providing some nourishment to the crew that showed up today with some, I'm telling you, it was all-American pulled pork out there, ladies and gentlemen.
So Robbie Mallon West and Marcus Townsend are deep for the Lords, and I don't think they're deep enough with the wind at his back. Tutsi's probably going to get it to the end zone.
Number 6, Robbie Mallon West, and number 2, Marcus Townsend back to receive.
You can't hear me.
So we are about ready for kickoff. Little Giant special teams were pretty sharp last week. Coach Rayburn very pleased with them. See how they do against this Kenyon College team today. Fall break game, Little Giants and Lords, and we are underway at the Hollet. That's Townsend, and he is swallowed up by a host of Little Giants. First man there was Thomas Allgood. And then the pile.
Interesting short kick into the wind. I would think he'd have been trying to get it into the end zone. I think he could have. It looked like he was trying to get some air under it and maybe give ourselves a chance to actually get him inside the 25. Well, I guess we did because it goes to the 25 in college. So
21-yard line is where we'll start this game today. The Lords. And that's Jake Bates and Rob Mayer to his right. And Bates will take it off the right side and has running room, a lot of it. Big gain brought down by Austin Brown, but not until he got 9.
And Coach Rayburn was talking about, their coaching and some of the things they will try to do. Defensively, we talked about, but offensively, he sees them pounding the football, at least what they did so far this year, and then set up the play-action passes. So, there they just decide to run the ball. If they keep running the ball like that, which I don't think they'll be able to.
Bates looks for his man, underthrows him. Ball is incomplete. Intended receiver was Hunka.
Interesting that they interesting call in second and 1. You want to get some success early against the Wabash defense, and you run the ball, and then you come out and throw it. And it's not like a second and 1, let's throw it down the field because we get a free play out of it because it's second and short. It was just it was a short throw. I thought it was a little interesting, but maybe it's a way to try to keep us honest so they can have success running the football.
3rd down and a yard, and the Little Giants came across. That's Tyler McCullen.
I think it's going to be a first down for Kenyon.
The fullback went in motion, and that caused McCullen to jump.
Number 41.
When it's in
5-yard penalty.
Because
Yardage results in a first down.
They had a guard, and then they actually had a slot man off the guard instead of outside the tackle. And Tyler's not used to seeing movement. I don't think that close to him. But I'm sure B.J. Hammer, our defense coordinator, would say, I think we've worked on that this week, Tyler.
First down for the Lords at the 35-yard line. Just underway, first quarter action. Bates tries to fire it out, and incomplete. DeLon Pettiford on the coverage. Breaks up the pass to the tight end, McIntosh.
The Wabash defense, we've talked about their successes this year. They're second in the nation right now in both rush defense and total defense, and wanting to continue that here. And it's just a very quick, active defense. A lot of fun to watch.
Kenyon lining up with a heavy package. And they will pass. Bates looking for his man, and right off the fingertips, Clark, the fullback, was the intended target.
Well, I think we're getting a preview of how Kenyon wants to throw the ball, Jim. They're not going to be sitting back in the pocket. It's going to be play action. It's going to be getting the quarterback out of the pocket. Both times they've thrown the ball today, it's been getting out of the pocket, and he can run. So that's trying to get that threat as well. But you don't want to sit back in the pocket with our defensive front.
3rd down and 10 is the situation that the Lords find themselves in, and Mayer gets the handoff, breaks the first line of tackles, but Carnes drags him down. McCullen had a hand on him, but Mayer kept his feet going and got about 4. He'll be well short of the first down. Steve, 3rd and 10 is not a good spot for Kenyon.
No, and he was one foot tackle away there from getting a first down, but no, it's not. I mean, they're not going to drop back and throw the ball down the field. We don't want them to, especially with Hunka running down the field. And let's see what the wind does with this first punt of the game. Wind may have lowered a little bit.
Ian Bell, wide receiver, is also the punter and the kicker. Back deep for the Little Giants is Drake Christian, Takes it at the 30 on one hop, finds a little bit of a seam, and he'll get about 10 on the return before he's bottled up.
Lifted up, bottled up, slowed up, stopped.
Jacob LaPointe, 205-pounder out of Toledo.
So this is the interesting thing we wanted to see today, and Coach Rayburn said he didn't know what Kenyon was going to try to do. Last year they put 9 in the box, and this single covered, which we call cover 0, our wide receivers made us throw the ball. So let's see what they try to do today. I'm guessing it would be the same. I think that's what I would try to do with us.
That's what it looks like in a double reverse, and it's Matt Dickerson with a lot of running room. Catapults himself for 20 yards on the double reverse. You saw the jet sweep, and they handed the ball. Christian handed it to Dickerson, and a big-time play right out of the gates for the Little Giants.
Well, I think Rayburn had a sense of what Kenyon was going to try to be doing, and that's exactly what you want to do on zero coverage, because since there's no zones or less people hanging back that might be there to make that play.
And there's Mason Zurich on first down, and he's got a lot of room to run. One man to beat. And he steps out of bounds. But not until he gets 34 yards down to about the 6. Mason Zurich plowing straight ahead. Let's say a few shout-outs to a few people listening. Tim Grusenmeyer in Fort Wayne. Thanks for checking in, Tim. Zach and Aaron in the car on the way to a soccer match somewhere in Central Florida. Good luck today, fellas, on their way to Daytona.
Bob Biddle in Southern California and George Simpson in Tampa, Florida. So getting us from around the country today.
So 33 on the run. Zurich gets it again. Nope. It's Rice on the keeper, and he will go untouched. 6-0 Little Giants on the 7-yard run from the quarterback, Connor Rice. That looked way too easy, Steve.
Wow, you ain't kidding. I mean, we're running a little misdirection early in the game, which is a nice start. I like to see that as an opening play. And then Zurich just stumbled, for, like you said, I think it was 34 yards. Showed a little speed on that, too. Nice little burst from Mason. And Connor with the good read and the keeper. I tell you, 3 plays.
3 plays, and off they go. Tutsy's kick is up and straight through, and just like that, it's Wabash 7, Kenyon 0, just 2 minutes and 24 seconds into the contest. Here you'll see the fake handoff, and watch Rice, basically untouched. Dylan Burrish out there with the block.
Yeah, and it's that zone read that we like to run. We're basically reading one defensive unblocked player on whether to give it or keep it. And most teams would rather have us keep it, because if not, then Mason Zurich has the football. Karen McCarthy also watching from Idaho. A lot of our standbys. Jim,
checking
a lot
in
of
early.
our
We like
staples checking in early. We appreciate it. Every week we hear from you folks. Much appreciated.
So Wabash off to a good start. This Kenyon defense is not bad. They only give up 337 yards a game. 16 sacks on the season through 6 games. Pretty effective unit, but Little Giants on the reverse with Matthew Dickerson taking it for 20, then Zurich for 33, and Rice for 7. And like that, the Little Giants up on top. So Tutsy for the second time. First time he chose to get it up in the air, and the coverage team ran under it. And this is another high boomer, will be taken on the run and fumbled a little bit at the 13-yard line. That's Malin West, who makes the first man miss, but he will not get past Stephen Jones, junior from Indianapolis.
I tell you what, that's a nice play by Stephen Jones. I mean, people, you take that for granted. It doesn't look like a great play. Kept him from bouncing outside. Turned him back in. He's got 10 teammates inside of him. Stephen Jones has 0 teammates outside of him, so just got to get him back inside. He tried to bounce around him, and he made the play. So let's see what the Lords try to do this time with the football. Can't imagine him putting the ball in the air much.
Rob Mayer standing next to the quarterback, Jake Bates. Bates has his first completion of the game. It's out to Hunka. Hunka makes a guy miss and gets first down yardage, gain of 11.
Well, that's how they're going to try to throw the balls. Nice, easy passes. You want to get rid of it quick and get him out of the pocket because of our defensive front. Get it in if I were them, I'd try to get in Hunka's hands and see what he can do with it. And maybe he breaks a tackle and makes something happen.
So first down from the 32. Wildcat look now. Bates is out of the game. And the runner is Ian Bell, the wide receiver, punter, kicker, Wildcat quarterback. We got about 6.
Number 30, Connor Ludwig.
Lots of different looks for these Lords. Coach Rayburn was a little, I don't say he was nervous about it, but it's just something we needed to be aware of. His team, Little Giants. Bates is back in now, and he sends Mayer out for a screen. Now he has some running room and is going to take off, and a lot of room. Dances out to the 48-yard line, a gain of 11 for Bates.
Well,
and
you
another
talked
first
about
down.
Coach Rayburn probably not being nervous about it, but it's unsettling for a coach. Coaches like to know what they're going to see, and when you're coming into a game, you just don't know exactly what you're going to see. It's tough to prepare. You're kind of preparing for light. You're working on fundamentals. It's a little unsettling. I remember when I was coaching here, we played to Denison, the old single wing. You knew what they were going to do, but you'd never seen it before. You'd never see it again, and you just didn't know how it was going to go.
Fake handoff to Mayer. Bates with a lot of time lofts it downfield, and it's knocked away. 4 Little Giants in the area. Pass was intended for Bell.
Eddie Schmehill, I think, was the primary coverage on that. Number 13, didn't have much room to throw it, but at least they're opening up some things for their offense against this defense. A couple runs and a good scramble and getting the quarterback outside. They've seemed to have some success with that. We haven't had anyone in his face, at least, when he's trying to throw the ball. So I think they're going to continue what they're doing.
So 2nd and 10, Little Giants have a lot of guys in the box, and it's a little misdirection, and Mayer was wrestled to the ground by Connor Ludwig, his second stop of the game.
And you said it earlier, Jim, the problem Kenyon's going to run into is this situation right here, the 3rd and long and extra long. It's just they need to be getting positive yards every play to have any success against our defense.
Mayer lost a yard. 2, I guess. Ludwig on the stop. Bates under pressure. McCullen can't get there. And the pass, he actually got the ball out there. No, it's incomplete. That's a long way to throw to McIntosh when you're getting chased by McCullen and Burrish and Carnes.
Well, he first wanted to go, I think, to a slant, and it wasn't there, and then it was, just do what you can. But little play-action fake. It wasn't much of a play-action fake. It was pretty token. But there was someone they were wanting to go to early.
So after a couple of first downs, the drive stalls. Again, first down is going to be huge for Kenyon today because if they're in 2nd and 3rd and long, it's going to be tough against this defense. So Bell to punt for the 2nd time. It lands on the ground, and it's going to be one of those that's probably going to be negative yards. Nope. It'll be about a 10-yard punt,
6.
maybe.
Well, it should be.
So they'll spot it at the 43. That
should be at 47, actually. Where they first touched it.
Yeah, so 47 it will be.
6-yard punt, Jim. There's the wind
7,
we're talking
I think
about.
It's 7. I think he got 7.
It doesn't do
Let's
much
give
for
him
your
the benefit of the doubt. Not all on Ian Bell. There's a stiff wind blowing from the northwest.
Doesn't do much for your average.
But when the ball comes in on the ground, you don't have a lot of choice.
Yeah.
So the Wabash offense back out on the field. Connor Rice had a pretty easy time that first drive. 3 plays and a touchdown, a 7-yard scamper for the junior quarterback. He's got time to throw now. He's going to tuck it and run straight up the middle. It emptied out, and Rice will run for 13, maybe 14 down to the 38-yard line.
Kenyon going for 3-man.
Run, so
they're not.
The Little Giants have runs of 20, 33, 7, and 13 yards in the first 4 plays of the game.
Yeah, pretty easy. And Kenyon with a 3-man front now, and they did this last play too. I'm just a little surprised they're not packing people in a little bit more. But
quick pass, Sammy Adams, nice tackle on the play. Tommy Pridemore, freshman defensive back, made the stop. Otherwise, Sammy Adams is going the distance.
Yeah, and if you look at Kenyon, they're in the 3-man front, but they're bringing more than that, and they're moving a lot. They were still man-to-man coverage on us. That's why if Sammy, as you could see watching that play, if he'd have broken that tackle, he'd have gone the distance. And here they're changing it up quite a bit.
6-yard pickup, 2nd down and 4. Rice with the play action, wings it too far. had Drake Christian, would have been a big play just off his fingertips.
Well, I tell you, Kenyon was in 3-man front, Jim, for 2 plays in a row, and that time they had 8 in the box, and maybe their scheme is to just keep changing up their scheme. Here's the thing is, let's remember, Coach Rayburn scripts his first so many plays, so whatever they're doing now, it's not really going to affect what he's calling. So we'll see that come into effect in the second, third, and fourth quarter.
Scoreboard and our ticker is off a little bit. It says 3rd and 6. It's actually 3rd and 4. And Rice is going way too far over Christian.
Yeah.
So it's one of those situations, Steve, you're at the 33. It's 4th down and 4. On a day like today, Tutsi could probably hit it, but the wind is swirling enough.
I'm a little surprised, and I know they're scripted what we want to do. I'm surprised we've gone the series without giving it to Zurich.
Yeah. Mason has 1 carry, 33 yards. And he'll be stopped. And that's the kind of boost the Lords wanted. Cody Keenan, Jr., linebacker from Cheswick, Pennsylvania, made the stop.
Yeah.
Zurich got about a yard or 2, and he needed 4.
Well, we're doing some good things up front. I mean, we had 2 incomplete passes there. Connor had all the time in the world to throw. So I think we're controlling the line of scrimmage. I think we're going to be okay offensively. Just would like to see another scoring drive there. I think we'll see 38 get the ball a little bit more next time we have the football.
Bates kept it. Tried to beat 2 of the better players in the league, and Evan Rudder and Austin Brown, and that usually means a gain of nothing, and he got maybe a yard. Second down and 9. First quarter action from Hollett Little Giant Stadium. Cool, beautiful day in Crawfordsville. Bates being chased, flares it out to the tight end, McIntosh, and he will bowl his way to the 40, be short of the first down by a yard. Ludwig on the tackle.
I've seen some pretty good stuff from Bates so far today, Jim. I mean, he has no time to throw. His first look in there, he's just running around. That's a really tough throw right there across his body, or opposite arm.
Well, it's all tucked in there now.
Wow.
Another
Bates is not
different
in
look,
there.
and in came A.J. Clark. He bit the fake. It'll be offside, Little Giants, and a penalty by first down.
22 was in our backfield for Bates.
He's a tank.
How big is he?
Quashay Hendricks, defensive lineman, 5'10", 290, was lined up at quarterback.
They were
I think that was all designed to get the Little Giants to jump, and they did. A.J. Clark.
I kind of wanted to see the play.
I did
Ryan.
too.
Snap it to 290 pounder.
I'm not convinced it was going to go to him. I thought it was going to go to one of the up men.
Could have. That's why we wish we'd have seen it.
So we don't have a pet band, but we've got a drum line, and they got some big buckets they're hammering today.
Bucket line.
Bates with time. Lots of it this time. Finally has to get out of the pocket and finds McIntosh for a gain of 15. McIntosh streaking across the middle of the field.
Hey, Bates can throw on the move. I'm telling you, he's made some really nice throws. What he's not doing today, and our defense watching him on film will do that, he's getting out of the pocket when he doesn't need to. That time he had some time to sit in there and look, but he's just getting antsy and getting out. But you know what? If I'm him, I'm probably going to want to do that because I'm pretty good on the move. I've been impressed with him.
Bates rolls to his left, pump fakes, finds Hunka at the 35, and he gets it down to the 29. Maybe the 30 will be close to another first down. So Bates started 0 for 3. He's hit 4 of his last 6 and is finding some rhythm. First drive got 1 first down, the second 2 first downs, and this is the Lord's third drive, and they're rolling. 2nd down and a yard. Handoff up the middle for first down yardage. Robbie Mallon West from Anaheim, California, the ball carrier.
If you're Kenyon, you have to score on this drive, my opinion. If you have some success and don't get any points out of it, I think it's a big letdown. I think it can make a big difference to their psyche coming in here where they haven't beaten Wabash in NCAC play since we joined the conference in 2000. They're mixing it up, getting Bates outside, throwing easy passes. But we got to be prepared for, and that is somebody getting open downfield.
Bell goes in motion, fakes the handoff. Bates flares it out to Bell. Almost hit the ground, but got his hands under it. Complete for a gain of 2, and A.J. Clark.
It's one of those that looked better than it was. You know, you see a completion, a little bit of run, 2-yard gain. So we'll take that all day. 1-yard gain, actually. Mark Cevallos watching, as always in San Antonio. Sue Schneider watching from inside the Allen Center.
There's our Hardy drum crew.
Patrick Rezick, Dan Burley.
Nice shot, Zach.
Oh, you weren't messing around. You said those aren't buckets.
They're trash bins.
I didn't know we're pulling out all the props today.
Campus Services Director Dave Morgan on the bass drum. Mallon West fakes right, goes left, and stumbles and is eventually brought down by Brian Parks and L.V. Bowden, but all the way down to the 20 and another 7-yard gain.
Yeah, you get the Campus Services Director in the paint band, you don't know what all kind of props he's going to bring out that can make noise. So I tell you, this is a big play, Jim. We were just talking about how Kenyon, you see a good little run there, but Kenyon's really, I think, for them to have some success today and feel like they have a chance to win, Kenyon needs to get some points on the board. I think this is a big down. Now, it is 2-down territory.
It's 2-down territory,
but they don't want to lose yardage here, or maybe they have to try to kick something.
Bates chased, tries to direct traffic, and he will go down. A huge loss. A huge loss. The first real mistake Bates has made was not unloading that ball. He tried to direct traffic downfield, and you can do that against a lot of defenses in the NCAC. You can't do that against Wabash. A huge loss.
Wow.
From 3rd and 2 at the 20 all the way back to punt range at the 37.
Wow. You can't do that. And he had a chance to throw it away, and then they have a chance to go for it or field goal. It would have been 4th and 4, 3 or 4. And we just got done saying, you can't lose yardage in that situation.
Bates played a pretty smart game to that point, but that's one where he really just needed to unload it. Bell gets a little bit better snap this time. It's a punt off the edge of his foot, and it takes it down to the last line of scrimmage. So he got the sack yardage back on about a 15-yard punt. Little Giants will bring it out from the 20.
Yeah, a little bit surprised that punt had been, tempted to go for it there.
Wabash leads 7-0, and you can follow all the fun of Wabash College athletics and all kinds of teams participating this weekend. Twitter at Wabash Athletics, and stay up with the Little Giants. Rice completes out to the freshman, Javon Langley. I'm not sure that I have that right on the roster. We'll figure out who that is.
I don't know. I'm guessing we're going to see 38 with the ball here, and there he is.
Zurich steps through one tackle, cuts it outside. He's got a lot of running room. He's got one man to beat, and he does. Now another gives chase down to the 25-yard line. A 50-yard run for Mason Zurich. Looked like he was stopped at the line of scrimmage. And 50 yards later, there is a flag down. So they'll get the Little Giants for a downfield holding or illegal block at like the 38.
I didn't see anybody down
I guess
there.
they're going to say Christian. That's not.
I don't
that's
know
right on.
what that call is.
That's weak.
Play results in first
That's just a
down.
weak call.
Yeah, I don't know why. It was a no factor in the play, for one. It wasn't a big hit away from the play, which they could call, and it was definitely not a block in the back. Regardless,
Kenyon's going to call a timeout.
big run by
Timeout.
Mason.
Kenyon. First charge
Well, it was
timeout.
a 50-yarder that got pulled back. He'll get credited for 17 yards.
Is that all that ended up? No, it was, yeah, not much more, yeah. Boy, that's too bad. That's a rough call. But Mason had a great bounce out on that, and that's an example of what we were talking about. Somebody has to be responsible for turning those plays back inside. The Kenyon cornerback got stuck inside. Mason just shifting enough to get outside of him. There's nobody else out there.
Stat crew skeleton group today.
We appreciate everybody here over fall break to get it done.
Stat crew gave Zurich credit for 50 on that, but that'll come back. He'll get 17 is what he'll get credit for. And it's first down for the Little Giants from the Lord's 48-yard line. Two-man, two-down linemen, but a whole bunch of guys right at the line of scrimmage.
Interesting with no running back.
And another beautiful pass. And I tell you, Connor Rice, the last few weeks, is not getting a ton of help from his receivers. We've had 5, 6, 7 drops a game for the last 3 weeks. Misfired on a lot of passes last week, but early on had some dropsies. Coach Rayburn concerned about it.
Well, no running back and 4 receivers to one side, and we just came back to where Kenyon was singled up on us.
Zurich, right side, runs right through the tackler, Mike Gibbons. Gibbons should have stopped him for 2. Zurich got 5.
I mean, Zurich now with 4 carries for nearly 80 yards, Jim.
Not still convinced that that's entirely
updated
accurate,
yet?
but we'll see.
Well, yeah, just updated. 4 for 76.
So I guess that one run would have been 27, not 17, as I said.
Yeah,
Sammy Adams
I think
contacted
you're right.
by Gibbons right as the ball got there. Good play by Gibbons. And fourth down.
Yeah, so, and again, I don't know how far we're into this play as far as scripting and knowing what we're doing. I'm just surprised he hasn't been carrying the ball more. I mean, 4 carries for 76 yards. I mean, one thing I know Coach Rayburn will do, and wait till the second quarter, is he'll run the ball until somebody stops him. So I think we're going to see Mason on the ground a lot from here on out.
Fox just about got that one blocked. Was holding on to the ball all day. You could hear the coaches shout, unload it.
One real concern about getting that off. Wow.
Not a great outcome for the Little Giants, who got that drive off to such a great start, and it stalled on two drop passes, really.
Good look at the nice blue skies here in the Midwest if you're not around here. A nice fall day. It's about maybe 50 degrees by now. It was mid-40s when we showed up today, but just what you'd expect from a mid-October football Saturday, as it should be.
First down, Lords. Bates fakes the handoff to Mayer, kicks it out to Clark, the fullback, and Clark bowls his way beyond the 25, steps out. Oh, they're going to give him the 28. A few more than I thought he had.
Well, they were in an unbalance that time, so if you look backside, Kenyon to their right had just a guard and tackle. That may have been a tight end, but 2 positions over here they had an extra receiver out on the line is how that works. Sometimes that can create some matchup problems when that happens, which may be why pretty wide open with the fullback sneaking out on that one.
Bates on 2nd and 2, rolls to his right. Now he's going to step through a couple of tackles. A.J. Clark and DeLon Pettiford will knock him down. Great play there by both A.J. coming from behind and DeLon. And it'll be no gain. It'll be 3rd down and 2.
Well, we're starting to find a way, Jim, when they're trying to get Bates out of the pocket with a sprint out like they were there. We're trying to find a way to contain him a little bit on that and make him pull up.
All right, so the 290-pound defensive lineman has the ball, and he will get the 1st down.
Number 22, Shane Hendricks on the carry. Tackle made by number 30, Connor Ludwig.
Well, there's what we were looking for, Jim. The big guy getting the snap and running the football. He didn't seem too big of a hurry to get to the line of scrimmage. I think they would rather have him pound up in there a little bit harder, but you can see he got a yard or two after contact, which is why they have the 295-pounder. You can see him walking off there, number 22. It's also a funny number for a 295-pounder.
Quashay Hendricks, a defensive lineman. Funky formation. Bates looking for Hunka and almost picked off. L.V. Bowden in coverage.
Well, that's what our defense does. You know, we have big plays like that. We have every game this year. Almost another one there for L.V. He would like to have that one back, come up with the play, and scampered. He just scampered about 35 yards for a pick 6, I think, but it's not what happened. I tell you what, Kenyon's all over the place with what they're doing on offense. They're packed in there. They're going unbalanced. They're spreading it out here.
I don't think we've seen the same play twice, but I will tell you, kicking it out and cutting it back up against the grain, against the Little Giants today has been successful. And Mayer, that time, takes it for a big gain all the way out to the 47-yard line.
And I don't think the fact that Kenyon is doing that is a surprise to us. Coach Rayburn did say that. They're going to have a bunch of different a bunch of different formations, a bunch of different looks. And, Kenyon has to be feeling pretty good now, Jim, going into the finish up this first quarter.
Oh, absolutely.
Down 7-0. Plus, let's not forget, not only is it just 7-0, they went all the way down the field and didn't get anything out of it. It could easily be a different score.
So we've completed one quarter of play. We're going to take a 30-second timeout. You're listening to Wabash College Football on 91.3 WNDY Crawfordsville and wabash.edu/live. We'll be right back. And just back to start the second quarter. Bates will have the wind at his back and a 1st down from his 47-yard line. 7-0 Wabash, but Kenyon showing a lot of moxie. Hunka hit immediately by Ludwig, but he'll get 4, maybe 5.
Yeah, I mean, the way this game started, Jim, we scored on 3 plays and 70 yards or something like that, and had a couple drops, a couple of good defensive plays from Kenyon. Our offense has sputtered a little bit. I still think we're going to see 38 running the football quite a bit here and making Kenyon stop him. And then their offense, their multiple offenses, giving us some problems. Here's that different look I was telling you about with the kind of the inside slot and the outside wingman.
Bring McIntosh off to the right. And Bates is going to have to unload it. Chased.
There's just nothing. With as quick as we are up front, he has no time to throw when he gets outside like that. And then if you have no time to throw in that, no chance of running it, it's tough because the field is squeezed so much to the sideline with all your receivers over this way.
So 3rd down and 5 for the Lords.
Bunch of 7-0 games in the conference. Hiram over Ohio Wesleyan and DePaul over Allegheny so far, and Wabash over Kenyon.
Fakes the handoff to Mayer. Pressure coming, and almost picked again by L.V. Bowden. Stepped in front of the ball. The intended target was Ian Bell, who comes up slowly, and he can't come up too slowly because he's the punter.
Well, I think he went to the wrong underneath. There were a couple guys cutting inside underneath the coverage. Somebody over the middle, I think, was a little bit more open, didn't get a number on it, but doesn't matter now. Now he gets to punt into the wind. I bet he's feeling a lot better about this one, Jim, than that 7-yarder.
Not into the wind, wind at his back. And it's a better snap, too, which always helps.
With the
and that's
wind.
a bomb. Christian Fair catches it at his 16-yard line. The Little Giants will start from the 17 coming out. 14:01 before halftime. Little Giants scored in 3 plays on the first drive of the game and have been stymied since. Another rough passing day for the Little Giants, who never quite got on track last week in the passing game. Really weak performance all the way around. Drop balls, overthrows, and Connor Rice is not off to a great start today either. 2 of 6 for 11 yards. Has had a couple of drops and a couple of overthrows. So he fakes the handoff to Johnson, and it's almost pick 6. Almost pick 6. Sam Weaver read the play beautifully, but I think he was seeing the end zone and did not see the ball into his hands. Nice camera work, fellows. And that's one where Sammy Adams has just got to come up and block him.
Well, it was one of those where if it had been a better pass, it had been a pick 6 because he threw it too high.
It was intended target was not Adams, it was Christian.
No, it was
Connor keeps it up the middle and runs right into Gibbons, but he'll get about 5, maybe 4. Design run play. Faked it to Shamir Johnson, who checked into the game.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jim, this is a big down because if we don't get it, we're backed up in our territory, punting into the wind. We haven't seen a whole lot of good punts into the wind. You give Kenyon some really good position to an offense that has gotten some yards today.
Rice slings it and almost picked off again.
That is the same.
Weaver again. Sam Weaver, freshman from Reading, Pennsylvania, has read the play twice.
Weaver.
Intended target that time was Dickerson.
I tell you what, he's cutting on the ball very nicely and reading some things. That might lead us to getting behind him a little bit on something. Don't know enough about what they do defensively specifically, but woo, can't be doing that. This is the punt we were talking about on our own 16-yard line, having to punt into the wind. Almost got a block last time, Jim. Let's not forget about that.
Fox. Nice clean snap. Noah Montgomery. Ian Bell. Fair catches it right at midfield. So a 34-yard punt, no return.
Well, I'll take that into the wind all day. 34-yard net punt.
Kenyon's come out ready to play, Steve. Bates is 7 for 15. 5 different guys have run the ball.
Well, I tell you what, Wabash has 131 total yards to Kenyon's 96. I mean, you take away Wabash's first drive, we talk about how easy it looked. Kenyon has won the game yardage-wise since then.
Looked like Bell was moving, but Bates gets snowed under. That play was going nowhere. Connor Carnes on the stop. It'll be a loss of about 4.
No, and as we said, Kenyon is not going to be able to afford any losses like this. I mean, they're just going to keep getting positive yardage. Nick Negovich watching from Texas.
Jordan Pakula, 225-pound fullback, just checked into the game, and I'm telling you, he hadn't seen 225 in a long time. Lined up just off the line of scrimmage. That's him going in motion. And the Wildcat, it's Bell, and he's wrestled from behind after a gain of maybe 2. Well read by Connor Ludwig, came flying in with Connor Carnes to make the stop. Good look at Connor.
I think Kenyon's going to, just the way our defense gets stronger as games go on, they're going to have a hard time scoring today. And I think what they're going to need is something like a pick six, like they almost had twice from Weaver, or something like that, or maybe something in the kicking game. I just think they're going to struggle to really go down the field and score on this defense.
So Bates with Mayer, trips to the far side of the field. And Bates rolls to his left, throws complete, short of the first down.
That's a nice
It's
catch.
Bell who made the catch at the 45.
Wow, that was a really nice catch. Went up and got it and came down with 1 foot in.
And it looks like they will punt and play the field position game. 7-0, Kenyon very much in this football game, could easily be 7-7.
Yeah, just like we've talked about, their
possible
season
pick
could be
six.
4-2, right? Instead of 2-4, playing the field position game here. I think that's smart with Wabash going into the win, and Wabash offense has sputtered the last 2 possessions.
Passing game has just not gotten on track the last couple of weeks. Punt is a good one, but it'll go to the end zone. The Little Giants will have the ball.
Nice
Decent
job.
field position. And we're going to say hi to A.J. Akinrabade, who tells us he's watching from Miami. Nice to have you with us today, A.J. Wish you were here in person. A lot of great memories of A.J. as a 4-year starting linebacker for the Little Giants.
Wish you were here in person wearing number 44 out on the field. Dudley Burgess is watching. Dudley and Judy, appreciate it. Jonathan Horn checking in, another one I'd like to see back on the field. Greg Burke in Switzerland.
Kenyon late getting set, and Mason Zurich makes him pay, taking it 11 yards to the 31-yard line. 30, they're going to mark him right at the 30. First down.
Greg watching with Brody Mattengill from Switzerland.
So
International program.
So Zurich has 5 carries for 86 yards.
Yeah, I think
Feed the beast. Feed
and
the
I think
beast.
the Lords are going to, yeah, exactly. I think the Lords are going to get a heavy dose of 38.
Zurich,
Feed the beast. Well said.
2,000 yards in his career coming into the game today, ranking 12th all time. He's already moved into 11th place. And he's another good carry away from moving to 10th all time.
Mark
As a Little Giant running
Sugar
back.
Kane, classmate of yours, Jim.
Sugar.
Adult brother of mine, watching from New York.
Coaches, very loud here today. Christian makes the catch. And Weaver gets off the block. Sammy Adams couldn't keep Weaver off. That might have been a little bit bigger play, but
Well, Sammy couldn't get him. He was blocking him to the outside. He may not have a chance. I think if Drake could have seen that and not got spun around with a pass,
yeah.
I think he could have come back inside, but he couldn't see what was going on. We have
3rd and 5.
Michael Warren watching from Canton, Ohio. John Goodrich. John tuning in. John says, good game. Nice drums.
Can you hear the snare drum? We have a snare drum today. Thank you, John.
We have
Appreciate
a snare
that.
drum, a bucket, and a barrel.
We'll have the pep band back in a couple weeks. Rice with a lot of time. Now comes out of the pocket. He's got Sammy Adams all by himself. And Sammy down to the 43.
Wow. Not sure how that
21,
happens.
22, 21-yard pickup.
well, that's big to get. I mean, we're looking at, like I said, we're sputtering, although been opening up some holes for Zurich. Really like to be using Zurich to open up the passing game, which is really what we've done on this drive.
Feed the beast.
Feed the beast.
Zurich wrapped up that time by Williams.
I might jinx this game, Jim, but it's been very clean from a penalty standpoint. We've had very few flags on both sides. I'm not saying
The
that,
one
but
illegal
just-
block on the
and that
big
was-
run, which was really a throwaway.
Yeah, it was.
You could watch
odd.
that 10 times and not see an illegal block on it. But
They got a little antsy on that one.
so they only gave Zurich a yard on first down, so 2nd and 9. Linebacker blitz are going to get him. And he literally came untouched. That was Gibbons again. He's played a terrific football game. And you saw Gibbons cheat up from his linebacker spot, and he was right at the line of scrimmage at the snap, and nobody saw him except us. Oh, it was Mason who missed him. That was Mason's assignment.
Yeah. Yeah, those are killers. You know, Coach Rayburn talks all the time about those plays and explosive plays.
I don't know what your 3rd and 17 play is.
But
that's a zinger! And Drake Christian can't hold on. Big hits delivered by Williams and Saxon Justice.
And no fault of Drake's on that one. I mean, it was a high throw. He tried to do it again. Nice play defensively. Kenyon, the fans, the few that they have over there they're excited. I mean, they really are in the sideline. We talk about these games, Jim, and how Wabash, you have to get these teams down early, so then they feel like here we go again, and they're not feeling it right now.
7-0 Little Giants, 8.5 to go before halftime. Not a bad punt, all things considered. Watch it go all the way down to about the 12.
33-yard punt. Not as much of a bounce as you could have had with no one fielding it, but again, we'll take that into the wind. 8:18 left in the second. Kenyon feeling very optimistic.
Kenyon with 8 first downs, Steve.
Deficit.
101 total yards. Statistically, having their way with Wabash. Statistically, time of possession, 14 minutes to 7. Almost 15 minutes to 7.
Right, but they did last year too.
Yep.
36-24, and we beat them 52-10.
Little Giants not showing that big play capability today. Really not much other than the big runs by Zurich. First down pass complete to Ian Robertson. Senior quarterback and a young receiving corps. Hunka's a junior. A lot of freshmen we've seen today.
DePaul now with a 14-0 lead over Allegheny in the second. Hiram 14-0 as well over High Wesleyan. 2 night games tonight. The Denison at Wittenberg, which will be one to watch, and Oberlin at Worcester. Those are both 7 p.m. games.
Bates on 2nd and short. Lots of time going for it all. And DeLon Pettiford out in coverage with Ian Bell, and it was overthrown.
Nice coverage. Nice throw because there was nowhere to go with it. He threw it where no one else could catch it.
That's not a bad play on 2nd and 1.
No, it's
now
not
they bring
at
in
all.
their Bubba package. Jumbos.
The fridge.
Quashay Hendricks is your quarterback at 290 pounds. And this time he's stopped. And he will be short. 4th down and a couple. I don't think he got even a yard
exactly.
that time.
For a big boy, hump it up in there. And if he would get it and just go, he'd have a much better chance. He's looking for an opening, I feel.
Well, I would think that if you're going to line everybody up in a tight little box like that and have a single back, you'd have somebody with a little bit better feet. You know, can either hit the hole a little faster or.
Yeah.
You know, one thing he's got going for him is he's got a lot of weight going forward, but it takes him a little while to get the engine rolling. So the Little Giants hold, and it's another low snap, and Bell gets it away. It's a beaut. But Christian will have some room to run. Not a done, and there's the flag.
Good call. That was a good
Flags
call.
are down. This is going to come all the way back. Don't get hurt, anybody.
That was a good call.
So we'll look at the replay and see
There's a block in the back.
who did the illegal block. I think Parks was in the area, but I don't know that it was he who did it.
I think it was. But
Maybe
I
it
might be
wasn't
wrong.
Parks.
I don't
Maybe
want
Parks
to.
isn't on the field. Hold
Don't
on.
want to say that yet.
No, it was Parks, I think. All right, so you
It
can
was-
see it was
it
a
was
low
Parks.
snap.
And
Christian
he did
fields
for a long
cleanly.
time. You'll see number 2. I was up here thinking, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it right there.
There it is.
Number 2, 10-yard penalty.
And he did.
First down.
Yeah.
So no field position at all for the Little Giants here in the second quarter. Best starting field position has been the 20.
And you can't say, but to be fair, you can't say that prevented a touchdown.
No.
And I know you didn't. I'm just saying people say, oh, it stopped a touchdown because we blocked in the back. I don't think we had anywhere to go until that block in the back.
Yep. So the Little Giants with their best starting field position of the second quarter at the 25, going into a breeze that has been gusty. Not much passing game. Shamir Johnson, the running back, and he gets ripped at the line of scrimmage by Kurt Williams. Kurt's been active in the second quarter. He's made 3 plays in the last 2 drives.
Patrick Rezick watching today. I think I said his name earlier. He may have got 2 shout-outs. That's big time, Patrick.
6 minutes until halftime, and the Little Giants have just not done much offensively after the first drive. It's been very erratic. A couple good runs here and there, but nothing consistent. Dickerson on the jet sweep, and he'll be close to a first down, but he'll be stopped a yard short. No, sorry, 5 yards short.
Do we know why Zurich's not in? Is it just getting him some rest this series?
Yeah, I think it's just
okay. Because Shamir's been playing a lot this year, so I'm not concerned about it. Caleb Smith watching again from Knoxville, local kid.
So 3rd down and 5. Screen pass to Johnson, and he cuts back and makes both tacklers miss. 2 guys had him in their sights, and a great little cutback by Johnson. Hey, Ryan, you got a replay on that one? Sure you do. Great job in the truck, fellas. Oh, made both men miss. Whoop. Good vision. First down.
Give us a little Chris Berman, Jim.
Whoop. Good to give the defense a little bit of rest on the sideline. They played most of this first half. Not sure which coaches are doing the hooting, but we're hearing them.
There's Kenyon.
Nice pass. Complete and a fumble, and he gets it back. Wow. Oliver Page, the freshman. Coach Rayburn told us we would see 2 freshman wide receivers today, and we are. That's Oliver Page. I believe that's his first career catch. We saw Ryan Thomas make a catch earlier.
Well, nice career catch. First career fumble. First career fumble recovery. He had a lot there. First yards.
3 stats, 4 stats.
I don't know.
Not
anything
quite
else we
his
can come up with?
down. 2nd and a yard. Johnson in the backfield. Full line of scrimmage. Can he make a mess? He got the first down.
Yeah.
He was wrapped up by Justice, junior linebacker from McLean, Virginia.
I tell you, we're just.
But Shamir just kept the legs pounding.
Yeah.
And knew where the first down yardage was. This would be a good long drive for the Little Giants if they could put it in. They're still a long way from the end zone at the 48, but with just over 4 minutes to go before halftime, if you could go down, put one in the end zone, be up 14, and get the ball to start the third quarter, you'd probably feel pretty good. It's just been an uneven game for Wabash. Hard to describe. It's not that they've played poorly. It's just been uneven. They've had a couple big plays and then sputtered. So 8 in the box. Johnson gets it. He's hitting the backfield and will maybe get back to the line of scrimmage. Joe Marabito, defensive lineman, made the tackle. Loss of a yard maybe.
Well, they definitely had it packed in there on that one. Kenyon did. Didn't want us to run the ball there, and we tried. So, yeah, I mean, there have been a couple plays, Jim, a couple potential pick sixes for Kenyon. We're just kind of hanging on to this 7-0 lead and haven't really even threatened to push it to 14.
Ton of guys at the line of scrimmage and no place to go for Shamir Johnson. Gibbons again on the tackle, having a big day. He got 1. So the tight ends come out. Sammy Adams, Matt Dickerson, Oliver Page, and Drake Christian. 4 wide receiver set. And Shamir Johnson, I'm guessing, is going to stay in the block. We'll see. Oh, and the tackle moved. It'll be 3rd and 15. Little Giant, that's just not sharp today. Darian Sturdivant.
And that's not insignificant.
3rd down.
There are a lot of 8 to 10 yard routes. There are fewer 15 to 18 yard routes. I mean, it really isn't significant. It really is significant. You know what I mean?
4 wide receivers for the Little Giants, 7 in the box for Kenyon. They now drop out. Christian can't hold on.
Wow.
Not an easy catch.
No, but it was possible.
Yeah, I tell you, Connor's
it-
got such a strong arm. You don't ever.
Right. It's a
There's
play you
not
got
a
to
lot
make.
of passes he can't make,
That's
and
right.
that one looked like it was catchable.
It's a play you got to make. I agree with you. We haven't made the tough catches this game, and a couple easy catches.
So now Kenyon will get the ball back yet this half. Have 2 timeouts remaining, 2:33 to play. Fox again seems to hold on to it a little long. Ian Bell with the fair catch at the 25, and then a late flag. It's probably going to be personal foul on Wabash.
I think so. I saw a Kenyon kid on the ground, and I saw the flag come in. I didn't see it happen.
It might be
I
Alex
think it's-
Wimber.
I think it's Broker.
Oh, was it? Yeah, he's the one who just got yelled at.
Personal foul, number 50 on Wabash. 15-yard penalty. First down.
So Chris Broker flagged for the extracurricular, and it gives Kenyon 15 more yards and pretty good field position. 2 timeouts, 2:26 to go here in the first half. 7-0 Wabash.
You can't have those penalties. And that's a big deal with 2.5 minutes to go. 15 yards is a big deal.
Bates wings it way long for Hunka. LV Bowden was right there. Brian Parks was right there.
Kenyon's going to have a hard – I mean, it's a long way to go in 2.5 minutes for the Kenyon offense. They're going to need to, I feel like, methodically pick their way down the field to have any success, as they did in the first quarter without getting any points out of it. I don't see them doing much in 2.5 minutes. I shouldn't jinx us like that, but –
Second down and 10. Bates and Mayer in the backfield. 3 wide receivers. Handoff is to Mayer. Mayer's looking for a cutback, and there isn't much there. And Tyler McCullen and DeLon Pettiford close the door quickly, and there is a stoppage.
I assume
Gain of
Wabash is
2.
now calling timeout.
Wabash going to burn some timeouts here.
Yep, I like it.
So 2:16 to play here first half. Little Giants use one of their 3 timeouts, and we will say you're listening to Wabash College Football on 91.3 WNDY Crawfordsville and wabash.edu/live. And there you go. You want to know what it takes to be a Wabash man. Visit the website, www.wabash.edu.
It's an interesting situation here, Jim, to call these timeouts because you're going to get the ball back with, under 2 minutes, and you're going to have – maybe we just want them to have to punt the ball, maybe get a bad snap, something like that. But you also give the possibility of them having a decent play here into our territory.
Exactly.
And now we gave them more time. So it's a tough one. I'm not disagreeing with it. It's an interesting thing to talk about because we're going to have a long field to go if they get a punt off. Anyway.
Brian Hunka at the bottom of the screen, number 7, preferred target. Bates, though, fakes it, hands it off to Mayer, and Mayer's wrapped up after a gain of 2. Little Giants will call timeout, and Kenyon will punt.
Now that timeout I like.
So Wabash now will get the ball back after the punt, presumably.
DePaul now with a 21-0 lead over Allegheny. Ohio Wesleyan has come back and tied the game with Hiram. That is a 14-14 game. Again, keep your eye tonight, folks, in between pitches of the Cubs-Mets game, to Denison Wittenberg. Wittenberg may be down a little bit this year, but we want to see where Kenyon sits.
Is Wittenberg down, or is Wabash and DePaul, are they up? That's
I
the
think-
question.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both.
Maybe.
And I
Ian
say that
Bell
just
will,
because of how well we handled Wittenberg by the end of the game. That's why I say that.
Ian Bell stands at his 30, will punt from the line of scrimmage at the 45. Drake Christian back at the 17 for the Little Giants. Been a mixed bag for Bell, but man, he hammers that one and Drake will just let it go, and if it gets one more, it'll get to the 20, and the Little Giants will have 2:03 and one timeout to go the distance.
It's a good decision by Drake. With the wind, if you don't feel good about it at all, in this situation especially, you don't want to give Kenyon the football. But if in doubt on the catch, just let it go. So see what we try to do. 2 minutes and 3 seconds left. 80 yards down the field. You don't want to do anything silly where you with a turnover. So let's just see what we try to do here. I wouldn't be shocked if Zurich sees the ball here. I don't think we're going to be putting the ball in the air 3 times. That's my guess.
Christian can't hold on. Now, these are balls that appear to be catchable, Steve. They're
Connor Rice would be the first to say, I got to get that down. Drake would be the first to say, I got to make that catch, and I agree with both of them. But you got to make that catch.
There was nobody for 70 yards.
No, if he breaks that first tackle.
Not convinced that guy was even going to make the play.
Maybe not.
2nd and 10, no time elapsed. Zurich this time runs left, bowls his way to a first down. The clock will stop temporarily for the first down. No, they're going to wind it. Now they're going to stop it.
They saw that it was a first down, I think is what they did there. Now they'll wind it.
I won't pick on the officials, Steve, because I know you are one.
That's
but
okay. It's okay.
The linesman ought to know that we started at the 20 and that was the 30. So
hey,
here's Zurich out of the backfield. He's got 11 more. 12. Give him 12, and Rice connects.
I like that. I like our passes so far. Giving it to Zurich with the play. A little easy pass to Zurich, easy pass to Kristen, which didn't materialize, but
I love Zurich in the passing game. Get him away from the line of scrimmage a little bit. Get him away from that big line and let him get some steam. And I'll tell you, that's dangerous. 225 flying. Ryan Thomas, an easy pitch and catch. Another first down. The freshman wide receiver.
Tootsie's career.
Andrew
Tootsie.
84 in your playbook. 6'4", 180-pound freshman from Martinsville.
I believe Andrew Tootsie's long. Our kicker is a 39-yarder, which isn't long, but he's tried a couple
be into the
in
wind,
his career,
though,
47,
so
49. It will be tough into the wind.
Well, the coaches, the Kenyon coach is calling our color. Red, red, red.
Oh, boy. I tell you, Division III
Rice
football,
needs
baby.
to get rid of the ball there. He holds on to it, will lose a yard, and the clock will be stopped. Little Giants forced to call a timeout. That's one where I think Connor just needs to unload it deep.
Yeah.
I love it when the Kenyon coaches are cheering our color loudly. Red, red, red.
I hadn't thought about that.
I'm sure it means something to the defenders, but
I would hope so.
Just sounded like a cheer, and it was great to see all the heads turning in the crowd. Everybody,
well, it's a quieter,
not a huge crowd, but they all turned and looked.
Looking around. It's just a quieter atmosphere, and he's the only one in the entire stadium yelling.
Zurich's last carry was good for 10, and that puts him at 100 even in the game on 8 carries.
Wow.
And moves him 10 yards, 100. That 10 yards got him to 100, and that moves him to 10th place all time. He's got some work to do to get up into the top 5, but certainly a great accomplishment to be at 2,100 yards in your career.
No more timeouts, so I assume we're going to see the ball in the air.
Well, apparently we're going to see a post or maybe a screen.
Or
Mason Zurich!
Or touchdown. And the clock stops.
And
nice job.
they brought the house, Steve, and they clobbered. If we get a replay on this, you're going to see they absolutely clobbered the quarterback after the ball was thrown. Watch Rice. He gets drilled.
We got a penalty.
And I'm
guessing it's going to be a hold.
That was a bad call because you could see Fullenkamp missed on the block, and the guy tripped on his own. Yeah, you can see it on the replay. You could see that
Did he call holding?
Fullenkamp
I didn't see the signal. Was it holding call?
missed actually on the block attempt, and the guy took another step and then tripped. And when he went down, they called the illegal block in the back. So it'll be 2nd and a mile, 15, and all that yardage comes back.
The ball will be spotted at the 47-yard line.
2nd and 16 from the 47, fakes the handoff. Rice can really fling it.
Yep, good cover, nice coverage.
And I'll tell you what, we have called his name a number of times. That's Sam Weaver, number 42. Freshman has played a whale of a ball game. Has broken up 3 passes now. And now 3rd and 16. So it had been a largely penalty-free game for the Little Giants, but they've had a bunch here late in the second quarter.
I jinxed us when I said it. Well,
So
so
you're-
now, you know, Kenny has 2 timeouts. So now we get nothing here, and we have to punt the ball. They have a minute. I'm not too worried about them going to the field. I'm worried about something crazy on the punt.
Zurich
kicking
on
game.
3rd and 16 got almost all of it, but he didn't get quite enough, and it'll be 4th down and a couple. I think you
I
hurry
think
back
you
to
go
the line of
for it.
scrimmage and do the same play.
I think you go for it here,
1 minute
definitely.
and counting.
Yeah. Kenyon's making some subs. Didn't seem in too big of a hurry to get out there, but we're not in a hurry to run it either. I'm guessing we're going to give it to the big guy from Andrean High School, and we are not.
No, they're not. And that is just not a good pass.
No.
That was not a good pass. Connor just flinged it out trying to get it to Christian. Christian got a hand on it, and it went right to the Kenyon player for the interception. Thought for sure we would see a run there. And honestly, if Christian doesn't get his hand on it, that guy intercepts it on his feet.
Yeah. There have been a couple scary passes. You know, at the end of the day, Kenyon goes in 7-0. They're going to be feeling really good about this.
It's the team that
Because-
averages giving up.
And I don't blame them.
Kenyon gives up 26 points a game, the Little Giants with just 7. And it has just been an uneven performance by the Wabash offense. The Wabash defense, though, has been terrific.
I don't understand. Big cheer for the Sphinx Club reception on that pass. I don't understand. They keep sprinting out, and they're not having any success with it. All we're doing is getting pressure on Bates, and he's either throwing it away. They have no one to throw it to because it's. I mean, you can see there they have one receiver on the sideline right there.
Marcus
There's just nowhere to go.
6'9" center.
That was Marcus. That's a good call.
Makes the catch.
It's good to see the big man at the hands. Hopefully we'll see that all winter.
Fakes the handoff. It goes to Mayer, and Mayer will churn out about 3. And that'll
guessing
about
they're
do it
gonna
for the first half.
Yeah, I'm guessing they'll let that go down and go in and regroup. Wow.
Kenyon defensive coaches leave the press box, and they're very excited with the performance the Lord defense turned in the first half against the mighty Wabash offense. An offense that came in averaging 45 points and 450 yards a game, stymied, held to 7 points here in the first half. And Little Giants with no turnovers, but 252 yards and a scant 7 points to show for it. We're at halftime on Community Day at Hollett Little Giant Stadium, where the Little Giants lead Kenyon 7-0. We'll be back after this timeout. hanging in. It's a cool but beautiful day here at Hollett Little Giant Stadium. And a nice community day crowd, a little larger than we actually expected, turning out here today. And I think folks are going to head inside and warm up. It's just, I don't know if it's gotten to 50 yet or not, Steve.
The other odd thing about that half, Tim, I just noticed it took just a little over an hour.
Yeah, I mean, it's 2:11.
It's 2:11. I said, that can't be right. I actually looked at another clock. Wow.
Well,
yeah, it's probably about 50 degrees. And
the Weather Channel says it's 54, and I think they're lying.
What
I'm
do
not
they
sure
know?
where their thermometer
What do
is,
they
their
know?
temperature gauge, because it's high atop the stadium where we are. It's a little windy.
Well, it's clouded up a little bit. It was supposed to be sunny all day.
Karen McCarthy tells us that the audio is cutting in and out, more out than in today. Just letting folks know. But I was going to say, if we would be missing something, it would probably be just fine to be missing this scintillating play-by-play commentary.
That's what I told her on the email. I said, you don't want to hear us anyway.
So a very strange first half of football for the Little Giant offense. Some overthrows, some underthrows, some drop passes. Mason Zurich running like a bulldozer. 8 carries, 100 yards for Zurich. Overall, we'll look at the stats in just a moment.
So you had Dickerson and Page were at the 30. Or Dickerson and Burton.
Nice northwest breeze coming. You see some of the fall colors. Kids out on the field playing today. It is community day. They'll let the kids play out on the field, and there are a whole bunch of them here today. Nice crowd. Brent Harris just brought us some statistics here.
We love statistics.
Well, and today they don't tell you the story at all. Because if you were just looking at statistics, it would look like the Little Giants were steamrolling Kenyon when, in fact, Wabash leads 7-0 at halftime.
Well, if you look at the rushing yards, with Wabash 155 to Kenyon 43 right there, you would think that Wabash was steamrolling them. The Lords on our way to a 300-yard rushing game if you double that number, but just can't get anything going. I mean, we might move the ball in the middle of the field, but then we'll have a loss, a couple incomplete passes, a drop pass, and total yards. 252 for Wabash, 117 for Kenyon. Just
penalties sneaked in there, and Little Giants had done a nice job all season, generally speaking, with penalties, but 7 penalties for 79 yards, and Kenyon with a whopping 0.
0 penalties. I just
think
saw
we were
that.
playing Wittenberg
Wow.
today, folks.
Wow. Neither team converting on third downs. Look at that stat. Kenyon's 1 for 8. Wabash is 2 for 8. So total 3 for 16 on third down conversions, and it feels that type of game.
Yeah.
Teams getting third down, not able to convert, put it away, which is why we have a total of 11 punts in the game. Kenyon's punted 7 times, Wabash 4.
Kenyon's defense has stood tall today. Kurt Williams, the defensive back, with 5 tackles on the game. They show Sam Weaver with 3 breakups. 2 of those could have been pick sixes.
Yes.
That's 2 tackles on the day. Saxon Justice in on 5 tackles. Mike Gibbons has played a whale of a ball game. 5 tackles and had a 8-yard quarterback sack. Rice sacked twice today, including Nick Slatoff, who's got 1 tackle, and it was a sack. Leading the Little Giants defensively, Connor Ludwig with 7 hits. A whole bunch of those came early in those first 2 drives. I think he had 3 or maybe even 4 tackles. 1 tackle for loss. Connor Carnes with 5 hits. A.J. Clark with 4. DeLon Petterford with 4 as well. A sack was shared by Evan Rudder and Tyler McCullen. Interesting, they shared the sack. One guy got credit for -8 yards, the other for -9. I'm not quite sure how you do that, but Brent will explain it to me later.
Yeah, I might be only 1 sack for the Wabash defense, which has really been living on sacks this year, and only 3 tackles for loss and a half, which seems a little unusual as well. Maybe not. But
Nice, beautiful shot of the stadium. First half statistics, like we said, don't necessarily tell a great story because 252 yards for Wabash, but 7 points. The one turnover came right there at the end on really a kind of a silly pass. It was 4th down and short, and thought for sure they'd run Zurich, and Rice winged it out, hurried the ball. He had some pressure coming, and it glanced off the outstretched hand of Drake Christian, who was actually going the other direction, and reached back, and the ball just tipped up and right into the breadbasket for the interception. Kenyon has not gotten much going offensively. They did drive into the Wabash red zone once and got turned away on a big 15-yard sack, 17-yard sack. So maybe that's how they divide it with 8 yards and 9 yards each, because it was a 17-yard sack.
Right.
But that was the only time Kenyon got close. Bates, 9 of 20, passing for, as you can see, 74 yards. Connor Rice, not any better. Exactly the same, 9 of 20, 97 yards, and sacked twice. The big player of the game was Mason Zurich, 9 carries, 113 yards, averaged 12.6 yards a carry. I feed the beast. They credited Matt Dickerson with 2 carries for 25 yards, Connor Rice with 5 carries for 15 yards after the sacks, and Shamir Johnson 4 carries and just 2 yards. Shamir came in that one drive near the end of the first half, carried the ball a couple times, just couldn't get much going. Rob Mayer leads the Lords in rushing, 6 carries for 26 yards for the freshman. He had a 17-yard gain, but otherwise has been pretty much bottled up. Quashay Hendricks, the whopper fullback, 2 carries for 2 yards. Brian Hunka, 3 receptions for 25 yards. Greg McIntosh, the tight end, 2 catches for 24. Ian Bell, 2 for 8. Ian Robertson, 1 reception for 9 yards. Little Giants led in receiving by Mason Zurich. Go figure, 2 catches, 35 yards. Sammy Adams has 2 for 28. Ryan Thomas, 2 catches for 16 yards in his first legitimate varsity action. Oliver Page with his first college catch as well, 1 catch for 9 yards. Derek Fox averaged 35.2 yards on 4 punts. Ian Bell averaged 33.3 on 7 punts. Not bad considering 2 of them were very short off the side of his foot. We are at halftime here at Hallett Little Giant Stadium. Steve, you look to be scanning the scores very closely. What have you got?
Not much, Jim, but I do have a little bit. DePaul now 28-0 over Allegheny. That's at half. Also at half, Ohio Wesleyan has scored 17 straight to take the lead over Hiram, 17-14. And, of course, as I've mentioned earlier, we have 2 night games tonight. Denison at Wittenberg, which is one to keep an eye on. And we also have Oberlin at Worcester. Those are both 7 o'clock games. Couple from around the country.
Okay.
Number 1, Mount Union, 28. Heidelberg, 3. If you recall, Whitewater, the previous number 1, got beat last week by Wisconsin Oshkosh, who actually jumped over Wabash in the standings. Wabash with a big win, falling from 8th to 10th with that big win. Wesley, 4th-ranked Wesley, 21-0 over Keene. Whitewater is still number 6. They're winning 30-12 over UW La Crosse. That's a final. That was played last night, actually, for whatever reason. Some other ones in the top 25 going on. St. Thomas 7-0 over Hamline. Johns Hopkins, a final win from last night over Dickinson, 34-7. St. John's and Gustavus Adolphus, not at 0, still in the first. Number 18, John Carroll 7, Marietta 0. That is just starting the second quarter. Number 19, Concordia Moorhead and Augsburg are also knotted up to round out the top 25. Number 23, Salisbury, 41. William Patterson, 20. That is also in the second. At halftime, it's number 24, Ithaca, 14. Brockport State, 7.
I'd love to be at a game where there were 61 points scored in the first half. We've got 7
4.
here, and about 9 minutes remaining here at halftime. Wabash leads 7-0 over the Kenyon College Lords, and we're going to take a short break, and we'll be back for the second half. And a North Coast Athletic Conference matchup between the undefeated and 10th-ranked Little Giants and the Kenyon College Lords. Jim Amadon and Steve Hoffman and the Wabash Media Center crew high atop Little Giant Stadium, Wabash 7-0. Steve, let's go back and talk about the keys to the game that you laid out when we started this thing, and let's go right through those.
All right, overcoming the fall break lull. I hate to put our performance on a lull, but I think it's probably fairly accurate. So I would say we're not doing that very well. Adjusting to the Kenyon D, we're not doing that well. Although they can't stop number 38 Mason Zurich.
Right.
But we're going to give them a heavy dose of him. So I don't think we've done a good job of that. Hunka has not had any big plays. It's really been a non-factor. So I would say we've done well on containing Hunka. But the first two, I'm not sure I would give us a failing grade on.
Wanted to revisit those keys because typically at halftime, Steve, we were talking about checking them off as though everything went fine, and that first half did not go real well for the Little Giants, and they will get the ball to start the second half. They'll have their wind at their back, and we will see either Matthew Dickerson Jr. or also deep is Tom Garrity, and we haven't seen Tom yet today on offense. Zabi Sibo is the kicker.
It's a funny feeling, Jim, because you kind of feel like Kenyon has the momentum coming out in the second half. Typically, you don't feel that coming out after halftime. But I just watching the teams come out, that's just the feel.
Zabi Simo Jr. from Clinton Township, Michigan, set to kick it off to start the second half. That's a good-looking boot. And it'll go out of bounds. Probably not bad for Kenyon, given Dickerson's athleticism and speed. Wabash will get the ball to start the second half. And again, it was sort of a lackluster performance for Wabash. And it's odd to say that they churned out 252 yards of offense on not that many plays, honestly, and yet only 7 points.
We averaged 7 yards a play.
Yeah.
252 yards offense on 40 plays, over 7 yards a play. But just
20 passes for Connor Rice. The over-under on that in the first half, I think that feels a little high.
It does feel high, and 20 and a half, especially when they're not stopping number 38. We just kind of would move and stall, penalty.
Zurich with 148 all-purpose yards in the first half, had 113 on the ground and 35 in reception, and we'll start the second half with the Little Giants illegal procedure, and it'll be 1st and 15.
It's one of those games where Kenyon's just excited about everything that happens like that to us, and as they should be. I mean, they're looking for every little break. They know everything has to go well, and they need to get all the breaks for them to beat us, and they're seeing those happen.
Zurich, right side, trying to get back into the middle of the field and drives forward for another 5. He got the penalty yardage back +2.
I'll tell you what, because of Zurich's strength, he turned a 2-yard gain into a 6-yard gain, Jim. I mean, he just said, there's nowhere to go. I'm going to lower my shoulder and drive my feet. And that was an impressive run for as little as he got.
Kyle Stucker out blocking on that as well.
I just can't imagine us doing much more, Jim, than giving the ball to him right now.
Until Kenyon can stop number 38, why would you? Averaged 12 yards a carry in this ball game, and I guess we're not all that smart.
Well,
and I'll tell you what, Connor Rice puts a lot of mustard on every pass, and that was pulled in by Oliver Page, his new best buddy.
Well, I think what we saw there is Kenyon thinking what we're thinking, and they had man-to-man coverage, and Wabash picked up on that and just changed the play. Here they're
stretch play out to Zurich with blockers in front. Zurich cuts it back down to the 41-yard line. Another first down.
That's a play that never looks great. You never see great blocks. It's just everything is just a push and a push. And then Mason is really good about seeing the seam and just going and getting what he can.
12 yards.
You can't coach every player to be able to see that seam because it's not easy. But one develops, and that's that outside zone play that people talk about, just trying to reach your man, trying to get everything upfield, and something's going to open up.
12-yard carry for Zurich, and he'll get it again. Looking for a block. Oh! And he's going to get thrown for a loss, and you just don't see that very often, folks. That'll be a 4-yard loss. He was looking for a block, decided to try to cut it back. There wasn't anything there, and there is an injured player on the sideline, and we did not see who it was. It was well off the field of play where he went down, and he is not moving.
It's 3.
Darian Sturdivant,
Okay.
I think 72.
Okay. Looking at a leg. So at least it's nothing head or.
Mark Elizondo, the trainer, is
It's just
working
as
on his right knee.
quiet as you could ever get here, Jim.
And there you can see Sturdivant,
Yeah.
who's been a rock at right tackle the last 2 seasons, second-team all-conference player last week.
Get him over here and check it out.
We'll see who
Don't
checks
like to
in
see
for
that.
him.
I didn't see who.
Tim Leith steps
Okay.
into the tackle spot. He'll move over from his guard position.
And that's what we've been told. Yeah, would happen with
2nd 14, fakes the handoff. Rice zings the ball in, and it's a catch on the near sideline. Oliver Page again, pickup of 9.
Connor Rice's pass complete to number 2, Oliver Page. Tackle
Page now with 3 catches in his varsity debut.
Well, this would be big if we can go down and get some points out of this. I think it really would.
for the Little Giants.
Little Giants, had they been hustling a little more, they would have caught Kenyon way off. They did not have the right personnel in. And here comes the
Right.
blitz. And
That's
that's an
a great
inside
call.
pass to Ryan Thomas. Thomas looks for a block, cuts it inside the 20, down to the 17, 18.
Well, that's a great call.
18-yard catch
Jim,
for Ryan Thomas.
They had 3-man front, brought both linebackers, so it was a perfect call for that. So
Coach
coming to the
Rayburn-
inside, there's nobody there.
Coach Rayburn told us earlier in the week that we would get a look at the freshman wide receivers, number 5, Ryan Thomas, number 2, Oliver Page, and we have seen them, and they've combined for 6 catches in this ball game. 6 of Rice's 11 completions, and now more Mason Zurich up the gut, down to the 5. Mason Zurich with 13 more.
Number 38, Mason Zurich on the carry. Tackle made by number 26, Mike Gibbons.
Gibbons saved the touchdown. There you get a great look at Mason Zurich and why he's such a load to bring down,
His
coming
feet
right
never
into
come
your
off
living
the
room.
ground. I mean, he just scoots.
Nice shot, Zach.
Yes, it
End zone
was.
cameraman. 1st and goal, Little Giants. Opening drive of the second half. Rice finds his man. Drake Christian touchdown. Rice to Christian, 5 yards, and just like that, the Little Giants come out on fire just as they started the game, right down the field. Now, can they sustain it through the second half?
That was big. That was really big. We were talking about the feeling in the stadium at halftime. Everybody was a little grumpy with Wabash clinging to a 7-0 lead, but to go right down the field and hopefully, that puts a little bit of damper on what Kenyon's thinking right now. I tell you what, it's big because our defense is tough to score on, and now any lead you can add to really helps.
Christian's 3rd touchdown on the season, and Tutsi makes the extra point.
The Lords, 0.
So 14-0 Little Giants. That drive took just 2 minutes and 58 seconds, and it was methodical. Rice zipping the ball to the freshman receivers, Thomas and Page, and a steady dose of Mason Zurich.
Les Howard watching from Fort Wayne.
Who's that?
Les Howard. If you want to let us know that you're watching, please email us at hoffmans@wabash.edu, HOFFMANS at wabash.edu. You can join the likes of Tyler Burke, who is watching. You can join the likes of Ronnie
The scoreboard hasn't changed yet, but the play-by-play shows that Tutsy's kick was good, so it should be 14-zip. We'll see what get that changed.
Ron and Bobby Bean watching from California.
Tutsy gets a big leg into that one from the 8. And he'll get to the 21 or 2. That's Robbie Mallon West. Good coverage by the Little Giants.
Dick and Diane Peterson watching from Irvine, California. Phil Ware from Dayton, Ohio.
Mason Zerk with 141 yards rushing. Had 164 last week. He looks strong. Wildcat. Ian Bell will take it straight ahead for a gain of about 3. Just a different look. Just about every possession, not just every possession, every play. I mean, you don't know what to expect from this Kenyon offense. We've seen 290-pound Wildcat quarterbacks. We've seen wide receiver punters as quarterback. A lot of misdirection. A lot of rollout, play action passing. 2nd and 7. Bates opening possession of the second half. He gets flushed. Getting chased by Rutter. Zings it out. And it will not be good, I don't think.
No. There's just nowhere to throw the ball.
He got popped. I don't know if we got to look at that or not on replay, but wow. That wide receiver got a mouthful. So 3rd down and 7. It's Wabash defense. We've bemoaned the offense from kind of just being unable to finish drives in the first half. The defense of the Little Giants has been strong once again. Trips to the near side. Pressure. Bates clicks it out. Finds Bell. He'll be first down yardage. He got to the 39, 40, 35 rather.
Nice throw. He throws well moving. That's what we've said all day, especially going to, I mean, not especially, but really impressed with him going to his left. How he gets his body turned and throws that.
Nice camera angle. So a 3rd down conversion gives the Lords some new life. First possession of the second half. Bates hasn't been under center at all. A lot of time. Now he's going to tuck it and run, and he'll get ripped to the ground. A.J. Clark came flying up. Ethan Burrish also on the play.
Yeah, there's nowhere to go there. Good coverage.
Boy, the drums have just not stopped. I think they stopped for the play, and then they fire up again.
Tribal. Norm Beasley in Pittsburgh. Karen McCarthy, Austin Altoff watching today. Alto, Tony Altavilla.
2nd and 10. Bates to Mayer. Mayer, left side. He'll get a few, but is ridden out of bounds by Austin Burton. Gain of 5.
Number 27, Ron Beeger on the carry. Tackle made by number 18.
Ron Snell in Illinois. Danny Coulter, Brownsburg. Bruce Bradway. A lot of viewers today watching Wabash cling to this 14-0 lead.
All right, Wabash fans, get on your
Sidelines getting fired up. Crowd showing a little life. 3rd down and 5 for Bates and Kenyon. Bates rolling right into coverage. It gets the ball out, and it is knocked away. Beautiful play by DeLon Pettiford. No, it's not. Henry Weberhunt on the play. Sorry about that, Henry. Nice play. Not used to seeing Henry out there. Normally see DeLon over there. Weberhunt with the play. Nicely done. Looked like Kenyon had Ian Robertson open, but Weberhunt filled very quickly. And here's Bell's punt. Again, the ones into the wind haven't been very good today, but he gets a nice hop back into the field. Never see that. All the way to the 15. 45 yards.
Wow. Into the wind.
Not pretty, but worked perfectly. Yep. Little Giants will have a long field, but
that was
again, feed the beast.
That was a Nick Sirkovich punt. Nick, class of 85. He just said he averaged 40 yards a punt our senior year. He said.
And none of them went very far.
I just punt it where they're not standing.
Right.
That's what he'd say. and it's legit. If they can't return it, it's going to bounce. And that was on grass where you get less bounce and roll. I mentioned quickly Tony Altavilla watching earlier, a great teammate of mine in both baseball and football. Thanks for coming over to the alumni baseball game recently, Alto.
It's a reverse. Drake Christian has a whole field to run. Great angle taken by Brandon Bird. And Bird was able to knock Christian out of bounds at the 45.
I like that play. Just how we started off the game. A little misdirection coming back. When you're playing against a defense that's really flowing quickly and really flowing immediately, that's a great play because they're going to overrun your initial flow, over-pursue it.
Nice camera
That's
work
gotta be fun,
fellas.
To be Drake coming around the corner and seeing the only defender out there on his back.
Blitz up the gut, but lots of time, and he's going for it all. Oh, and it's knocked away. He had Ryan Thomas, but well defended by Bird.
Yeah, I think Bird got a hand in there. I don't think Thomas missed it. It was a nice throw, though. I liked it a lot. But I think he got a hand in there, and Thomas didn't have much of a chance. Been nice if he could have gone up to get it at the higher point. Maybe he didn't have a chance.
Oh, he got his hand right there.
Yeah, so it was a nice play.
Bird with 2 plays in a row. Saved the touchdown on the tackle of Christian and saved a touchdown there by knocking the ball away. Inside pass. Ryan Thomas breaks 1 tackle, breaks another, and a flag comes down after a gain of 9. Connor Rice is begging the umpire, but it won't work. It's going to be a hold at 49-yard line.
Holding. Number 74 on the offense. 10-yard penalty.
Okay.
Replay second down.
Another 10 yards. Little Giants rapidly approaching 100 yards in penalties, and the Lords haven't made one yet. I don't know. I guess they got one of the extra larges, but
I didn't like much of a factor.
It was not a factor.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of a weak.
They called Stucker, but it
offside
had nothing to do with the
zone
play.
infraction.
That's
Number
right where
44.
they threw it, though, too.
5-yard penalty.
Yeah, I think that's
Still second
No,
down.
it didn't. And you usually don't call holding unless you're beat by the feet. If you're beat and then you're grabbing somebody, that's when you want to call it. If they're just standing there sparring with somebody.
5 wide receivers for Connor Rice. Trips to the far side of the field, and it's a rough snap, and Connor's going to keep it. Goes left, cuts back right. Not much there, but he got 4, maybe 5, and it'll be 3rd and 6.
Number 19, Connor Rice on the carry. Tackle made by number 3.
Boy, a lot of promising drives, but
Yeah,
you talk about 340 yards of 356 yards of offense, but 94 yards in penalties.
like we talked in the first half, it's like we get a little bit of a drive and then sputter, get a big loss, get a penalty. We just, Zurich hadn't touched the ball for a while either.
And right on cue.
Yeah,
He
nowhere
won't
to go
get
there.
enough. He got 2. Nice play by Gibbons. We've called his name a lot. Very active linebacker.
Tell you what, it'd have been really nice to go down. I just thought we might go down the field again and just start putting the game away. But
Well, it was all there, but, how many times can you overcome a 10-yard
Yeah.
penalty?
yeah,
Or 15? 94 yards in penalties today.
Zurich now averaging 10.2 yards a carry. That last one hasn't been posted, so maybe a hair less than that, but still.
Nice
Wow.
kick by Fox. It's probably going to get to the end
A little
zone.
too good.
They're going to call it a touchback.
That back judge didn't know what he was doing. Once the ball breaks the plane in college, and it definitely broke the plane, it's a touchback. He should have called it right away.
I think the field judge is saying it crossed the line. Touchback.
Yeah, in the pros, that would have been good because you can knock it back out of the end zone if it crosses the plane.
.6:45 to play, third quarter action. Wabash on top 14-0. Kenyon coming out on offense with a wildcat look. Robbie Mallon West, I think. No, it's under center. Bates, first time under center today, kicks it out to Bell very quickly for a gain of 4, maybe 5.
Big base pass complete to number 9, Ian Bell. Tackle made by number 2, Brian Parks.
I'm going to tell you what, the more time goes, and I know it sounds obvious, and a 14-0 lead, though, Kenyon's just, I don't see them doing much with big plays. They're just going to have to methodically go down the field, and
Bates
every
under
possession
center.
is going to be important.
Hands it off to Mellon West, who got hit by Rudder and broke the tackle. That's something you don't say very often. Broke a tackle by Evan Rudder.
All right.
Robbie Mallon West getting playtime in the offensive backfield today because of the injury to Blake Kelsey. And now Bates with 3rd and 5. The Giants packed in tight. Looking for Hunka, got him, and he missed the pass. Hunka was open and would have had first down yardage, but it was
I think he got tipped. I think get tipped.
Broken up by number 6, Henry Weberhunt.
Yeah. By Henry. I think he
Weberhunt.
just got it. Yeah, tip went over his head.
Henry's a sophomore from North Central High School in Indianapolis. Made
The
a
big
couple
cookies
plays here in the second
Sorry,
half.
Jim. The big cookies watching. Rem Johnson. He says Mason Zurich for president. That should be on one of your bumper stickers, Rem.
Mason Zurich for president?
Uh-huh.
Given the field on both sides, I'd vote for him. Bell, end over end job. Field it.
That's a good.
And Christian does at the 40. Gets one block, cuts it back in. Nice return. Gain inside Kenyon territory. Return of 13 for Drake Christian.
John Fry wants to know who is on the drums or trash cans.
Well, we know it's Jim Swift, Henry Swift, and David Morgan. Those are the 3 I can confirm. 5:19 to play. Third quarter action. Shamir Johnson checks into the game. They had a sack, and they missed, but they'll get a sack anyway, -2. YouTube, great way. Go to the Wabash website, click on the little YouTube icon, and unlock a vault of outstanding video content. Some of it goes all the way back to the 1920s, and some of it was shot last week at Chapel. So make sure that you check out the YouTube channel at wabash.edu. Rice finds him. Oliver Page, first down yardage to the 33, 34-yard line. I can see why Coach Rayburn was excited about the freshman receivers he said would get some action today. Page looks sure-handed, and I like Ryan Thomas, too. He's got great wheels.
They're just both, yeah. Yeah, I like them. They made all the catches they could make, I think, today, and it's nice to see freshmen making a difference.
Shamir Johnson looking for running room. Up the middle, seen him do it before, and Weaver makes the tackle, touchdown-saving tackle. He's made a lot of big plays, but unfortunately for Kenyon, that one's way downfield. First time Shamir's gotten those legs going today. Ran into walls the first several times he touched the football, but not that time. See how he just kind of dances until he sees a seam and then turns on the accelerator. Johnson, nope, Rice keeps it and can't make Williams miss.
Don't like to see Connor putting his head down a whole lot. I'd rather see him just get away from a hit instead of looking for it. Keith Wyrick watching. Wyrick. Bruce Newby watching from Guadalajara.
Guadalajara?
Guadalajara, where it's 82 and mostly sunny. Yep.
It's mostly sunny here, but it's decidedly not 82.
The Burrish kids' aunt, Sue Neal, watching from Austin, Texas. Thanks, Sue.
2nd and 7. Johnson. Big hole. Shamir Johnson. Touchdown, Little Giants. 12-yard run for Johnson. Bolt of lightning. Junior from Maryville. I tell you, he is so exciting when he finds a hole. Andrew Tutsey.
He just makes it look easy. You know, he's one of those guys just skips through there and skirts through there and makes people miss without much effort.
Fox with the hold.
Wake and feel.
Kick is up and good, and the Little Giants on top, 21-0 over the Lords. 3:40 to play.
You can feel
in the third quarter.
Quite a change in Kenyon's demeanor and just kind of their feel. And, you know, here we go. It's 21-0. These kids have never beaten Wabash, and that's what you like to do earlier in the game. I'm not saying we're out of it yet. I mean, there's still over a quarter to play, and it's only 3 scores.
Connor Rice had, you know, a rough first half, but you look at the stat line now, 15 of 27, 158 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah. Dana Coulter, correction, Dana is not in Brownsburg. If so, he would have driven here. He's in New Albany. Scott Quick, Jim, emailed, said he was still upset that I threw to Sirkovich and Altavilla so much my senior year. Said I threw to Altavilla and Sirkovich so much my senior year because he was typing in the stats that year, and he had to spell Sirkovich and Altavilla each time.
CRNK.
CRNK. He said he'll never forget how to spell it.
Andrew Tutsey. Boots it. It's Mellon West. It is. Makes the first guy miss. And he's dragged down. They got a horse collar on A.J. Clark. So that'll take a modest return and make it 15 more, and the Little Giants are now over 100 yards.
Can't do that. Those big penalties will kill you. I didn't know if he had it inside the collar. But
I thought he got jersey, but he must have grabbed it.
Personal foul. Horse collar tackle. Number 10 of the coverage team. 15-yard penalty. First down.
He got his left hand on the sleeve, but I think the right hand got behind the shoulder pad, and down he came.
Yeah, can't do that. You know, don't want to
So
go.
49-yard line is where Kenyon will start this possession.
Yeah. Well, just got to play solid defense, make them, if they do get down the field, you got to make them earn it with short chunks, nothing big, no big penalties.
Bates to Mayer. Mayer ridden down. Evan Watson, Connor Ludwig. I think I said Evan Watson.
You did say Evan Watson. Evan Rudder?
That's Evan.
Who?
Evan Hansen.
Evan Hansen.
I know an Evan Watson. He played for Worcester. He's a musician.
He's from Crawfordsville.
Evan Hansen.
Evan Hansen.
Sorry about that.
That's a name you better get used to saying, Jim. We're going to be saying that for a lot of years.
Yep. 2nd and 10, no gain for Mayer. Rudder coming untouched. He won't get him. Bates still on his feet and throws it away. Crowd wants intentional grounding.
Well, he's out of the box.
He's out of the
College
box.
has the same thing as the NFL. Out of the box, all you got to do is throw it past the line of scrimmage. Well, Rudder kind of went down, and I think he was arguing for a holding call or something, and then sat there, and the quarterback ran right behind him. If he'd kept playing, he probably would have got in on a sack.
All right, Wabash fans, get on your feet.
I suspect the Little Giants could be whistled for more penalties. I'm not sure how, though. 2:42, third quarter action. Bates fires it. Hunka! Miraculous catch, breaks 2 tackles, steps over his own man, and is brought down by Brian Parks. First down, Kenyon.
Wow. What a great catch. If we could replay that, I know we may not, but what a great catch. And then to spin and miss it, to have somebody miss, because he didn't have the first down on the first catch.
18 yards. Steps over his man.
Yeah, I mean, that was just a great catch. It's up high, and it's hard to do over the middle to go up high, Jim, because you know there are people looking around to hit you. But he did it. That's what we were talking about with Hunka coming into the day.
Third down conversion, and now first down for Kenyon, and Bates is going to keep it. Oh! Hansen came flying in from the linebacker spot and just missed a huge tackle for loss. Play got strung out, and it did go for a loss of 2.
Number 34, Evan Rudder. And number 18, Austin Brown.
Jim Bowman watching from Ashland, Virginia. Tony Unfried watching from Carmel. Tony, thanks for being involved in everything you do over here at the college. Keith Nelson from Springfield, Ohio.
Second and a dozen. Bates out of the shotgun. Rolls to his right, finds Hunka. Complete. Coverage on the play by Parks and Weber Hunt.
That's just that
Gain of
unbalance.
about 8.
Just really unbalancing it to the top of the screen there. I'm just not sure how they can get with only 2 receivers. Somebody so open. There's only 2 receivers in that route, but they're doing that because of our front, and they need to protect it so well to try to get Bates out of the pocket.
Third down and 5 for Bates. Fakes the handoff to Mayer, and Brian Parks on the sack. Corner blitz for Brian Parks. Young man had 3 interceptions against Wittenberg. This time the sack. A drive killer.
How about that? The little corner blitz. Corners love that. Getting a sack stat.
Nice camera work, fellas.
Yes, sir. See the crowd.
So it'll be
still
4th down and 12, and we're under half a minute to go in the third quarter. Kenyon's going to take it all the way down. They'll call timeout. So 19 seconds left. Little Giants on top 21-0 here in Crawfordsville. You're listening to this on WNDY 91.3 Crawfordsville Radio and wabash.edu/live on the internet. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast. Again, grateful to the Media Center crew for sticking around on fall break. Camera guys doing nice work. Replay guys doing nice work. Appreciate you guys very much.
sure do.
And there you go. You can
Here,
watch
here.
it on your phone. I think a lot of people do. My brother was actually listening in his car on the radio. iHeartRadio.
Oh, in Florida.
In Florida, driving to Daytona and listening on the radio.
Wow.
Yeah, you can watch us on your mobile device, iPad. You can plug your iPad into your TV and watch it on the big screen. You can do about anything you want
What
with
else
these
can
guys.
you do, Jim?
Wabash.edu/live.
DePaul now leading Allegheny 31-0. It is now Ohio Wesleyan 24, Hiram 17. That's a close game.
4th down and 12 for Bates. Game-defining drive. Bates under pressure. McCullen flushed. Flings it back to the middle of the field, and the Little Giants will take over at the 40 where Bates stepped out before he got rid of the ball. So that'll go as a sack.
Yeah, I don't know why he just didn't throw the ball downfield on that. 4th down,
See if
4th and
something
10.
good would happen.
I don't know if I've ever
So
seen
the
anybody.
Wabash offense will come back out on the field with 12 seconds left with the wind at their back, although the breeze has calmed. I think our cameramen up on top of the stadium and in the end zone are glad that the wind has calmed down a little bit.
40-yard line. 1st and 10.
So Zurich comes back out with Connor Rice. Ryan Thomas, wide receiver to the far side of the field. Drake Christian down to the bottom of the field. Dylan Burrish, tight end stacked in close to the quarterback. And he gets the ball. Nice pass out of the backfield. Dylan Burrish. Pitch and catch with Connor Rice. And just like that, out to the 49-yard line. It'll be 2nd and a yard.
Man, those drums are solid. They're powerful. You can feel it vibrating up here.
Oh, the drums. Yeah.
The drums.
It's one of those blue plastic. We're at the 4th quarter now. 21-0 Kenyon. They're those big blue like recycling trash cans that it turns out if you tip them over, they're really thick ones. And you've got a big rubber mallet. It makes a lot of noise. And there you see them, and that's going to do it for the 3rd quarter. Wabash 21, Kenyon 0. We'll be back after this. Thank you. Back at Hollett Little Giant Stadium, where we start the 4th quarter, and the Little Giants with 2nd down and a yard. In motion is Christian. And the handoff is to Zurich. And Zurich's got a lot of running room. He's going to go! Mason Zurich from 51 yards. Touchdown, Little Giants.
Wow.
Mason Zurich.
Wow.
Had 143 yards, but had been kept out of the end zone. Give him 194. And the 6.
Closing in on a 200-yard day, Jim.
That gives him 2,194 yards in his career, and if you'll go to the media guide, we'll figure out where that puts him. Tutsi in to attempt the extra point. Fox with the hold. Tutsi with the kick. It's up, and it's good. And the Little Giants now lead 28-0 on Mason Zurich's 51-yard, 9-second blast from the backfield. And there you see it. Wasn't especially well blocked downfield, but Mason had a head of steam, and you just can't catch him. He is deceptively fast, Steve.
Yeah, and Coach Rayburn always, you're right. Coach Rayburn always says you need backs. If you block it up, can make people miss in the secondary, and that's what he did. Didn't look fancy doing it. He just shifts and goes. And like you said, I think people get bad angles on him, Jim, because he's faster than you think. If you look at single-game rushing records for Wabash, Jim, Mason Zurich is already 6th from a Worcester game in 2013. He had 229 yards. If he gets over 200, he good chance at 206 would pass Chase Belton on 14th on the all-time best rushing games in Wabash history.
Yeah.
1 and 2, just FYI for all you Wabash historians out there, are both Stan Huntsman.
Yeah.
In
265 against Ball State,
1952,
right?
he ran 265 yards against Ball State. Also that same year, 248 yards against DePaul.
Man among boys.
Yes.
We'll talk a little bit more about Mason Zurich, but right now, Tutsi's got it teed up into the wind. Pretty good kick. It's weird. Funky knuckleball thing going. And Townsend picked it up, dropped it, and was immediately dropped on the play by Luke Czesniak. I'm not going to get that name. I just can't get it. Sorry about that, Luke.
Can I buy a vowel?
Zeniak.
Well, at least that's how
I
our
say
press
it enough
box
times I
saying
can
it.
do it. Zeniak. Luke on the tackle.
The
second special
funky
teams tackle
knuckleball
today.
kick, as you said, Jim. The funky knuckleball kick.
It was. It kind of had a weird spin.
I'm with you.
You knew it was going to be hard to catch, and he dropped it.
Yeah, you're right.
So the handoff to Malin West, and he'll get thrown for a loss of about 4. So we've talked about Zurich and his 13 yards per carry average. Mason Zurich has 194 yards. Kenyon has 150.
Wow.
And I think that's all we need to say.
Well, the life. I mean, Wabash in that third quarter and early in the fourth it just took the life out of Kenyon. You can just feel it because they came out after halftime ready to go. Wabash went right down the field, an 80-yard drive.
Pass is complete. Ian Robertson, the receiver. Got about 6, so it'll be 3rd down and 4. I guess he got about 9, 3rd and 4. There's the Hardy drum crew.
Yes, sir.
Third down. And it's complete to Bell for a first down. Burton on the tackle. Jake Bates standing tough in the pocket.
Since we're talking about rushing and single game rushing, 1 and 2 on that list, as I mentioned, is Stan Huntsman. Number 6 is Mason Zurich. So my first trivia question of the day is, who can you name? There are 3 different people at spots 3, 4, and 5. 3 different people. See, email me if you think you know who some of those might be. Single game rushing records.
Well, one of them happened the year after you graduated. Pass is complete. And a lot of running room. Still on his feet, brought down by L.V. Bowden, but that was Brian Hunka running wild in the middle of the field, and it's a first down in Little Giant territory at the 45-yard line. This defense will not want to give up a fourth-quarter touchdown to Kenyon 2 years in a row. But this is just well blocked, and you see Hunka with great hands, reaches back, makes 2 men miss, and then gets a little bit of a block from Robertson out there, enough to kind of get in the way and extend the play down to the 45-yard line. 1st and 10, Kenyon. Misdirection play. Mayer, big run, up the middle, gain of 12. First down.
Well, I know Coach Hammer won't be too happy about this drive, Jim. Mike Harbaugh watching from Fort Lauderdale. Aurelian Bukatko, who does a great job hosting our students, has hosted all of our students to their home outside of Denver, Colorado.
Won the Alumni Career Service
Yes.
Fellow Award last week, or 2 weeks ago at homecoming. Bates rolling to his right, has a lot of time, wings it out for Hunka, and it's just a little too far.
In fact, Aurelian said the students they're out there now. They just left his house.
Oh, wow.
To go back to travel back to Crawfordsville. Really enjoys hosting them. So much appreciated. Congratulations on your well-deserved award last week.
And thank you. Thank you for your service.
Yes. Tom Graham, class of 85, watching.
2nd down and 10 for the Lords. Wildcat, Bell in the shotgun. Running right. Splits the defense and gets about 5.
Pat Becker watching from the Bay Area. He says Wabash Semper. I don't know how we say that. It's Latin for Wabash always fights. The classics department made T-shirts. Have you seen those? Pugnat? P-U-G-N-A-T. How do you say that in Latin? Pugnat? I'm a Hoosier. I'd say
major in
Pugnat.
Latin, Steve.
I hear
according to the
Pugnat in my
tribe.
ear. Okay, Wabash Semper Pugnat. That is Wabash always fights in Latin. There you go. This is an educational program, ladies and gentlemen. I have some guesses on my 2 of them are right. I'll tell you what. No, actually, only 1 of them is right so far.
Little Giants were coming hard and just can't get to Bates. He stands in tough, and 2 different defenders, I think Burrish and Tyler McCullen, were coming hard on him, and he just missed Hunka, and it'll be 4th down and 6. And
1 correct answer.
Another jumbo.
To number
A.J.
3, 4, and
Brennan,
5 on a
300
single
pounder.
game. Sorry, Jim. The 1 correct answer to number 3, 4, and 5 in the single game rushing is Mike Henry in 1969. George Simpson from Tampa got that correct. We have Roger Gravener as an answer. That is not one. Daryl Johnson, great guess, but that is not one.
Bill Kaiser in the Bell game is one. Bates on 4th down and 6. Finds his man, and he drops it. Ian Bell Not sure he would have gotten the first down anyway. L.V. Bowden was out there, but the Little Giant defense holds after a couple of first downs by the Lords, and Wabash will come back out on offense with 11:29 to play in this game and leading 28-0. One assumes it will be Connor Rice, but you wonder if it is Connor Rice coming back out, but you wonder if Michael Putko might see the field.
Tim Grusemeyer, I just got your text. We'll see if that happens in the last 11
It
minutes.
is not going to happen,
seconds.
Tim. Shamir Johnson has a blocker. Burrish. He keeps churning his legs and gets a great spot, but he gets out to the 33. Big gain of 4.
So Mark Cevallos went really out on a limb and threw out 4 names. You can't guess 4 names, Mark, but okay. None of those are right. He guessed Daryl Johnson, George Leno, Chris Morris, and Aaron Lafitte. Actually, I am incorrect. Chris Morris is 1. Chris Morris is number 3. We're missing 1, which Jim Amidon
Well, it wasn't the Bell game, though. It was at Worcester, as I recall, because I think I flew there.
Jim
I
Amidon
rode in a
was
single-engine plane. Oh! Boy, that was either miscommunication or a ball that just got away from Connor Rice, but he had Drake Christian open on the far side of the field, and he just nailed it to the Kenyon sideline.
So 3 is Chris Morris. He ran for 240 yards in 2003 against Hiram. 4 is Bill Kaiser. I thought it was a Bell game as well, but it was Worcester in 1985.
No, the Bell game he only had like 210 or 211, 210, something like that, but he had a ton of carries. So 3rd down now and 6. There's still a ball game going on, Steve, as he's got his nose in the media guide. Fake the handoff to Johnson. Rice looking for the big man, and he's got Follenkamp down the field. First down, Little Giants. 29-yard pass down the middle of the field. It was just a little floater tossed out there for the sophomore from Muncie, 6'3", 265, down the field.
Nice touch by the big man on that one, Jim. Number 19, Connor Rice, just with the touch over the defender.
We have not seen a ton of touch passes from Connor Rice in his short career, but that was a beaut. Blitz coming. And Rice keeps it. He's got nowhere to go. Wisely steps out. Gibbons was waiting to light him up, so he'll happily take the 1 or 2 yards. Connor closing in on a 200-yard passing game. Zurich closing in on a 200-yard rushing day, although I don't know that we will see Mason again. We may, but.
Well, Mason with 15 carries, and, you know, it's a good time to let somebody rest, let their legs rest. You just don't know what's going to happen from play to play, and Shamir is, you know, great backup. We don't lose much by going to Shamir.
Fakes the jet sweep. Rice up the middle, still driving. Gets to the 27. He'll be just past the first down marker. He'll pick up 9. He needed 8. First down, Little Giants. Connor's been sacked a few times. You know, it's interesting, Steve. 5 Little Giants have run the ball today, and they all have long rushes of at least 13 or more. So big plays running the ball. And keep in mind, Trey Taylor's not on the offensive line. Did not start today. 2nd week in a row he's been nicked up. And Darian Sturdivant left the game with an injury, so some new faces on the offensive line for the Little Giants.
Neutral zone
and
infraction,
still
number 34.
Dominating
5-yard
rushing
penalty.
Performance.
Still first down.
Kenyon's 2nd penalty, maybe? I think they've had 2 5-yarders. Yep.
Yep, that's it, huh? Both offsides, I believe.
Yep.
Not one live ball penalty on Kenyon. No holds, no blocking the backs, no face masks.
Little Giants rush to the line of scrimmage. Kenyon not organized, but the Little Giants are running right into the Kenyon D, and it was Shamir Johnson. He'll lose 2 yards. Shamir with 35 yards on 8 carries. Has a touchdown. Second and 7. Not sure what Wabash was trying to do, but they thought they had Kenyon scrambling, but Little Giants rolled right into where all the defenders were standing and moving. Fake the handoff to Johnson. Rice going deep, and he overthrows Fullenkamp. Fullenkamp had a lot of contact with the defender, Kurt Williams, but the ball was well overthrown. 3rd and 7, Wabash from the 24-yard line. (28-0) Wabash, 9:15 to play. Fast-moving game. We're just 2 hours and 20 minutes in.
Yeah,
3rd and 7. Burrish in the backfield with Rice and Johnson. Fake the handoff. Johnson with a nice block.
just a little
Connor
late.
Rice, just
Jim.
exactly a little late.
A little late.
Jacob
He was-
LaPointe got his hand
yeah.
on it.
Yeah, he was a little late getting him the ball. You could see him.
Christian was
early.
open. He was standing there.
Yeah.
I don't know what I mean, I don't think you can kick a field goal into this win, but it'd be a whopper.
Yeah.
40-some
Would.
yards, 42, 43
Yeah.
yards into the win. So they'll leave the offense back out on 4th and 7. Rice. Doesn't have anybody, but he's got running room. He's going to throw it. He's got Oliver Page for the touchdown. Oliver Page, his first collegiate touchdown, 24 yards.
Well, Oliver had hooked up and was and then he saw the scramble and took off deep. It was a great play by the youngster to see where he could go, because that's what you want to do. You want to just take off deep when the quarterback scrambles or come right back to him, one of the two. He saw he could get behind him, and nice little touch by a little flick out there by Connor to lay that in there. I love seeing first career scores by guys.
Connor could have run that for the first down, pretty sure. And Tutsy's extra point is good, and that makes it 35-0 Wabash. So it was 7-0 at the half. And it's been all Wabash. 7-0 in the first half, 28 points. Kenyon has been inside the red zone only once.
How about this game? 7-0 at half, 28 points by Wabash in about a quarter and 5 minutes, or exactly almost a quarter and 5 minutes. And wow, Wabash coming out of the locker room with that first drive, just really setting the tone for the half, Jim. Connor has been on his game this half as well, I believe. You know, that's a nice little flick there. Some nice little touch passes in addition to Mason Zurich's pounding running game. Shamir Johnson coming in with some nice little quick feet.
So Connor was 9 of 20 with an interception in the first half, and he's 9 of 13 in the second half.
Wow. So 18 for 33 for Connor Rice. 220
yards. A couple touchdowns.
Yeah.
And Michael Putko now warms up on the sideline for the Little Giants. Tutsy's kick. High wobbler. Taken by Townsend on the run, but nowhere to go. Oh, he does find a hole and gets to the 31-yard line. Little Giants had him penned in, but he made C.J. Creighton miss.
Trying to get some scores, Jim. Struggling with the internet connection a little bit, but I'll keep trying.
Oliver Page is Wabash's leading receiver in his varsity debut. 5 catches, 67 yards, and his 24-yard touchdown reception.
Where is this?
Number 2 on the list is Ryan Thomas. 4 catches, 38 yards. So the freshmen have delivered.
Where is Oliver from? Did we say what high school?
Oliver Page?
Yes.
Yeah, South Bend, St. Joe.
From St. Joe. Okay. It's a good program.
Yep.
And we mentioned Thomas.
Robbie.
Thomas is from, you said it
Ryan's
earlier?
from Martinsville.
Martinsville, right.
Ryan's got a lot of size. He's high.
Artesian.
He's 6'4". Page is 6'4".
Oh, both 6'4".
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, if you look at those two guys,
Yeah.
and, you know, Sammy Adams, who is is a solid 6'3". Pass. Hunka pulls it in for a first down out to midfield. 18-yard
Once
connection.
again, Bates on the run with accuracy as he's moving around. I am impressed with that. Very impressed with that.
Bates played a solid game today, 17.
You're not
35.
breaking into Hunka?
No,
Okay. That was your opportunity right there.
I'm not doing it.
What we're talking about is Tim Grusenmeyer wondering when we were going to break into Hunka Burning Love. But Jim
Refuses. Bell in
Jim
motion.
has nothing to do with it.
Gets the handoff, left side, and there's no running room. The jet sweep against the Little Giants. As good as Wabash is sideline to sideline, the speed laterally is very impressive for the Little Giants. Ludwig, Parks, and Burrish all in on the stop. That'd be a loss of a yard for Bell.
Stu Johnson is watching, and guest Chris Morris as well. Gina Asher watching from
Bates
Crawfordsville.
with the keeper going left. A.J. Clark pulls him down for a loss of a yard or two.
So Gina Asher's local. Her son Mason is up here, is working with us today. Mason Asher. Where's Mason Asher in our crew today? Do you know?
Third down now and 14. Third and 14 for the Lords. Bates with Malin West next to him. Bates rolling. Wings it to the middle of the field. I think he was trying to get it out to Jabri McLean. Brian Parks is kind of rolling his mad at himself because if he could have adjusted, that would have been another pick for him. Kirby Cox will step in at punt return for Drake Christian. Ian Bell will punt. Connor Rice's day is done, and what a beautiful punt. Oh my. And it's just gonna die. That'll go for 41, nice. Maybe 42.
Let's see who we run out on the field here, Jim.
It's going to be Michael Putko. I saw him warming up.
Michael Putko.
One wonders whether he'll get the first team offense with it.
Yeah, he's been impressive. You know, here's a guy who started 2 full seasons, sophomore year, junior year.
Threw for 270 yards against Kenyon last year, I think.
Right.
Something like that.
And now, now Connor is getting every play, and Michael couldn't have handled it better. Yes, Coach Rayburn, he has nothing but great things to say. That's not easy, folks. Putko being a senior and not being out there in the field like he would like to be, and he's just been Connor's biggest supporter.
It's entirely second unit, and that's Gibson. Gibson runs it straight ahead powerfully. He'll get it out to the 16-yard line and pick up 7 yards. Matt Gibson, senior. Your program's in pretty good shape depth-wise when you've got seniors out there.
Yeah, that's right.
Second and third position.
And every year we have senior day, Jim. We have huge classes now of seniors. They just stay with the program, and that's just a great thing.
So Zurich's day is done. Had a couple catches for 35 yards, ran for 194. Couple hundred yards, all-purpose yards today. Putko with the handoff. And Gibson is met at the line and will lose a yard. We'll try to get some of the new names out there. Kyle McAtee, freshman lineman from Southport, in the ball game. Gage Ulrey, sophomore tight end. Lucas Esparza, freshman from Peoria, Arizona, who's in the ball game. Brett Wyatt, sophomore from Southwood High School, LaFontaine, Indiana. The Wilhelm brothers were from that neck of the woods. Putko on the keeper. Going to try to get first down yardage, and he does! Michael Putko! Come to know and love that the last 3 years. Kid is built like very few quarterbacks.
Yeah, and there's Connor Rice on the sideline being his biggest supporter. I just love it when kids pull for each other.
Michael Putko is a leader of this team. He's like the first and last guy, first guy into the weight room, last guy out. And that earns the respect of your teammates very quickly. So Michael has a first down. 4:30 to play. Little Giants, 35-0. And this will be Gibson, and he runs right into a couple of Lord tacklers. Daniel Kimball's in the game, sophomore lineman from Northview High School in Brazil.
Matt Gibson on the carry. Number 52.
Mentioned Lucas Esparza.
You're doing a great job picking these numbers out of these jerseys because it's not easy from the front.
Dickerson and Garrity. A couple of senior wide receivers. Dickerson and Garrity, seniors who had to split time with freshmen today who really stood tall.
Yeah, Garrity was big against Hiram.
Gibson didn't get much, maybe a yard.
Dwayne Howell watching.
It's about all over but the final score here, and I know these defensive coaches would like to keep the shutout. We'll see a lot of second and third team defenders because Evan Rudder and DeLon Pettiford and Tyler McCullen have all started to take their pads off. They have no helmets. They're taking the tape off. They're done.
Gina Asher, I know you're watching from Crawfordsville. Your son is in the press box doing stats. We are actually on top of the press box.
You know, we don't have heat.
We don't have heat. Mason does.
We don't have food and drink at our fingertips.
Food, drink. Mason does. We're not shielded from the wind much. Mason is. So thanks to him for his service, and I'll let him know that you said hi after the game.
So Mason turns out to be smarter than all of us on the roof.
Bingo.
Of the press box. There you go. Follow Wabash at Wabash Athletics. Follow the Little Giants on Twitter.
As the tribal drums
Brian
continue.
Parks is laying down on a bench talking to coaches on headset. You know, his day is long over, but he is still getting coaching.
He's in
learning.
the sun. It's probably warm.
He's going to be an outstanding player. Sophomore from Arsenal Tech. Look at Gibby go! And I'll tell you, Michael Putko was out there blocking. He couldn't find anybody to block, but he was out there looking for it.
He sure was. You know, you get in, you're just dying to get in the game and get some contact.
That's
exactly right.
What's exciting about this Wabash offense when it's really clicking. The wide receivers are blocking, the quarterbacks get out and block. Clock is ticking. No, it's stopped. That's ticking down now. 2:34. A little Giant run for a first down. Well, Little Giants probably don't need another first down, but they might. We'll see. Putko hands it off, and Gibby won't get anywhere.
Number 12, Matt Gibson on the rush. Tackle made by number 94.
Matt either gets a bunch or nothing. Had a 12-yard run earlier. And we are under 2 minutes. A very slow start for the Wabash offense. They churned out a ton of yards if you were late joining us. 250-plus yards in the first half, but only 7 points. Penalties getting in the way. 84 yards in first half penalties. It slowed the momentum of the Little Giants. But Mason Zirk was on his way to another big day. 190-plus yards, and the Wabash offense caught fire in the second half. Run straight ahead. Young offensive line getting some work. Matt Gibson hands the ball back to the official. Coaches love the freshman and sophomore linemen, but they believe they need a little more work in the weight room. Need to be in the program, get the belly weight off.
Middle of the fourth quarter, DePaul now 44, Allegheny 0.
I think that DePaul football team is legit. Watched
They're
them play
legit.
Wittenberg last week, and they've got a terrific offense that keeps you on your toes. They're never out of anything. They can strike quickly, and the defense plays really well. Forced a lot of turnovers against a good Witt team last week. Michael Putko down the sideline, lowers his shoulder at midfield, and then a flag.
I'm
Putko
guessing
got to the 48.
Guessing it's illegal helmet contact. I think
Gain of 14.
the kid may have come in with his helmet down. We'll see.
14-yard run for Putko, which keeps the streak going. 7 Little Giants with runs of at least 10 yards in this game.
Personal foul, face mask.
Oh,
Number
face-
16 on the
I saw the helmet
defense.
come flying
15-yard
off.
penalty, automatic first down.
Coaches Morrell and Hammer leaving the press box right now.
Ohio Wesleyan, 4 minutes to go, leads Hiram 31-23.
So a nice run by Michael Putko. And we're down to 41 seconds and change.
No big surprises from the top 25.
Little Giants trek across to Ohio next week. They'll play at the College of Worcester. 1 o'clock game. Be on the radio. Assume that'll be Clayton Randolph and Brent Harris, or at least Brent Harris from Worcester next weekend. And that'll do it. Thanks again to the Media Center guys. I tell you, you did a terrific job with a small crew today, and I take my hat off to Adam Phipps and Phil Merritt and the entire crew. Super job today, fellas. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Wabash wins 35-0 over Kenyon, extends the streak. Little Giants now 6-0 on the season. Sputtered a little bit offensively in the first half, but cranked it up in the second. And a pretty impressive performance. We will take a short timeout and then come back and do a quick player of the game and some statistics and sign off. So we'll be back right after this short timeout. It was all Wabash on Community Day, on a beautiful fall break day at Hollett Little Giant Stadium. A little cool, but sunshine, blue skies, and beautiful fall colors. Steve Hoffman and Jim Amadon with you as we wrap things up today. You know, the Little Giants, when we looked at the keys to the game, to start the second half, we kind of said, well, we flagged on a couple of those, but we kept Hunka down. Well, Hunka ended up having a great second half, but the Little Giants overcame that first half lull and really cranked it up.
Well, what a game of two halves. 7-0. We even said coming out after halftime, you felt like there was kind of momentum on Kenyon's side. You just kind of feel it with their fans and their team. And Wabash did exactly what we needed to do in the second half. So if we'd go back and look at the keys to the game now, no question we could check off all three.
577 yards of total offense for the Little Giants and a 35-0 shutout of Kenyon College. This defense continues to look very strong. Connor Ludwig led the way today, had 11 stops, and A.J. Clark had 9, and Brian Parks had 8. Made some big plays down the stretch there. Offensively, star of the game in my book is Mason Zurich. 15 carries, 194 yards, and a 51-yard touchdown catch. And Oliver Page is going to get a pat on the back, the freshman, coming in, 5 catches, 67 yards, in his first career touchdown pass.
Yeah, and I'd also throw as a B as Connor Rice's second half into that. He was off in the first half a little bit. We thought 9 for 20. I don't know what he finished in the second half.
Well, he's 9 to 13 in the second half.
So 9 for 13 right in the second half, and I think that made a big difference on us getting down the field. And he made some nice touch passes on those as well.
Well, I think the coaches will have a lot to work on and say, you know, you can't overlook anybody. A 2-4 Kenyon team came to play and really frustrated the Little Giants. There were some penalties in there, but for the most part, just a frustrating day. So there we go. Thank you. It's a skeleton crew today, but Ryan, you did a great job on replay. Congratulations. We appreciate that. Dom and Carlos are up here with us in the press box. Appreciate you guys very much. And Zach Anderson drew the out in the cold spot, although it's kind of out in the cold for all of us, but Zach had the end zone cam. So nice job, everybody out of the Phillip. We really appreciate it. Scott Yeager helped us out, and we'll just end it this way right here with the Little Giants singing Old Wabash. Wabash 35, Kenyon 0. For the Media Center and Steve Hoffman, I'm Jim Amadon saying so long, everybody.